you okay with us being here?
Lady.
Lady, lady. Yes. Ashley. Is it a lady Ashley is talking to? Or are you referring to Ashley?
It just said Ashley, I'm not kidding.
Whoa! Ashley just got your name. She has now ascended. I don't know if you heard that, Pip, but your sister from another mister here, Piper, just said we should put Pip on FaceTime.
That was crazy.
That's a good way to end the night, though.
Yeah.
Great way to end the night.
Wild.
About it. Okay, we need to
What is that?
coordinate now.
Yeah, what was that sound?
What?
I thought that was you rolling something.
No.
I thought that was you rolling something.
At first I thought it was outside, but then it sounded like it was coming from
That was-
inside.
That sounded like it was from in
that?
here. What was that?
Yeah, but that switch does not seem to do anything. It just shuts off the armor.
It shuts off the armor.
Let me see, there's a switch over here. One of these switches here.
That was not us.
Again. All right.
I think I heard Sabrina say mom.
Huh?
What? I thought you were in another room.
No, she didn't say anything.
Did you not?
I heard that.
I thought that was.
I thought that was Serena. I heard mom.
Me too.
I heard it too.
It wasn't.
That was not a real person.
Annaberg. It's either called Annaberg or Annaberg Mansion, and it is in historic Manassas of Manassas, Virginia.
Short people will be like.
Yeah, the short people will be fine. Okay. So welcome everybody to the USS North Carolina. This is the Wildwood Sanatorium. And it looks like we've got really good Wi-Fi for this. This is where we're starting the investigation tonight. There's my partner in crime, Phil Rossi. Coming at you.
I would like the cat balls. Someone needs some cat balls.
What was that? What was that? Yeah, I thought it was something on the floor, but it's not.
Someone needs some cat balls.
All right, hold on. Hold the phone, everyone. I'm going to isolate this section. Isolate this section. Okay.
Is that still going off in there, Tina?
I'm going to hand you the cat balls, if that's cool.
I would like the cat balls.
Feeling like something you need to go on the bed.
Someone needs some cat balls.
It's right there. I'm now slowing it down to 175. I'm hearing turn around. Does anyone else hear that? Turn around?
Is that still going off in there, Tina?
I'm going to hand you the cat balls, if that's cool.
I would like the cat balls.
Feeling like something you need to go on the bed.
Someone needs some cat balls. You have 3 cat balls. You mean the big one?
try to 1, 2, and then I will put this one on the bottom. And
So I
then
see
this
you're
one
having a lot of fun.
on the top. And then
Thor, has anyone ever called you a Bond villain in a previous life? Because, man, I swear to God, it just sounds like you're saying, it seems you have the upper hand in the cards, Mr. Bond.
I mean, I never said I wasn't.
I wish I knew how to quit you, Thor. I wish I knew how to quit you. Oh, my God.
Which is a 3/3, and Valgava, which is
6/6.
a 6/6.
Where's the beef? It's on Mike's battlefield is where it is. Jeez.
Huh?
It is a 6/6 on Mike's battlefield. You know what, Mike? I don't believe you'll sacrifice your Valgava. I don't believe you'll do it.
Do it for the vine. You ain't gonna do it.
I don't believe you're gonna do it. I'm gonna send Yuma.
Go ahead and block. You
6/6.
won't.
You won't do
Have
it.
you lost life yet in your turn?
No.
You're about to.
Is my entire hand counter? Yeah. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
This is a game
All right,
for the
well,
ages. I'm gonna save
This is a
puppy.
game. This is
This
a game.
is a game, chat.
All right, we untap the land. We untap the land. We're both at 1.
I don't hear no bell. I don't hear no bell, Nick. I don't hear no bell. All right. All right. Oh, son of a bitch.
Oh.
Oh, there we go! There's my reacher moment. That was my reach.
Daddy, I'm only in the next room, and I can hear you. Daddy! Daddy? Look, Daddy, I got to groom myself because I'm a beautiful Appalachian queen. Yes, you, chat. And I'm telling you right now, nobody better be touching my torty beans. If anybody touch my torty beans, there's gonna rue today. They are, 'cause I'm an Appalachian queen. I am. I'm about done with this, I swear to this technological hoopa-joop. Right here, chat. That's my fur ass. You can kiss it. Pucker up, buttercup.
They're both as high as each other.
Oh, they are. Game of the year, people. Game of the fucking year.
I'm calling it right now.
I'm calling it now. Game of the fucking year. We are 12. We are 12. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. That means we are going to get weird on this channel, and I am so excited that you are here to get weird with me. How you doing, everybody? It's great to be here. It's great to not know where my cursor is on the screen. And even better, it's nice to know that I didn't have the Grim Gazette opening already queued up and ready to go. Hey, how you doing, everybody? It is a Grim Gazette kind of night. It is a Grim Gazette kind of night, and I'm really excited to have you all here. My name is T. You can call me TT Monster or Twitch Dad. Tonight, no Magic the Gathering, although I did get a little bit of Magic in today. No Magic the Gathering, no VR shenanigans. It is, in fact, an OSI kind of night. And for those of you watching over on YouTube, thank you very much for being here as well. That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to pull up the YouTube content so I can make sure that I have YouTube chat in a window where I could see you all and say hey and just stay in touch.
Both of these will remain the same.
They will remain the same. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Okay. As many of you know, I have a multitude of tabs open. A lot of it is probably coming from an undiagnosed ADHD, which there's a good possibility I may have. And I wear it like a badge of freaking honor. I really do, because some of the most creative people, some of the most entertaining people that I know and that I respect, they also deal with the ADHDs. So if I can be in that company, because some of the most creative people, as you hear, so if I can be in that company, I'll be fine. I'll be just freaking fine. All right, let me pull up this window, and now I should have. Oh, I see people dropping hearts in chat. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that over on YouTube. It's always nice to see the hearts pop up on YouTube, because sometimes, particularly with YouTube, sometimes I feel like I am speaking into the always hungry, ever hungry void. But here we are. Let's see. That is not me. Let me fix that. Ooh, excuse me. Really good day on the books today. Oh, really? You're not... All right. Well, let's try that again. More hearts. Thank you again. Thank you again. Okay, why are you not seeing the keyboard? Why are we not seeing the keyboard? Thank you. Really? Okay. Okay. We'll do it your way then. We'll do it your way then, Windows, because Windows. Good evening, Cobalt. How are you? How are you tonight? But yeah, good day in the books. I managed to get in a little play test with Bello the Brambles, and for those of you who are with the magic aspect of this channel, then you know how much that means to me. And yeah, I'm all about that. I had a great time with Steve Saylor and Thormagander. Got a chance to really get in with Bello, so I felt like I could get a handle on the deck. And I will say this, I feel like, whoops, no, not that. I feel like of all the times that I've played Bello, Bard of the Brambles, this one has felt the strongest. This is the one where I felt like, okay, you know what? I'm doing the thing, and I feel like I'm getting a handle on this particular deck. So that felt really nice. That felt really nice. And for anybody that's popping in, let me go ahead and explain. Tonight is not a magic night, even though I'm talking about it. This is the warm up. This is the warm up lap of the stream, right? This is the warm up lap of the stream. Now you might hear a secondary voice. That's because while you can't see her, she is just cropped out from the camera, but you can just make her out. If she waves behind her, you'll see her. Mom of the most. Lean further back, baby. Lean further back. All the way back into the couch. Lean into that couch. There it is. My wife of the most. That's Twitch mom, Pip Valentine. She is in the other room with EVP. Evie and Pip are playing Ghost of Yote, and Pip's killing it. Literally, she is killing it. She's playing a song with the wolf. Now I'm going to try. You know what? Now, as many of you know, I have been slowly working into reclaiming both the media room in the other on the other camera, and I've also been working to reclaim my studio. I want to get it back into a semblance of tidiness, a semblance of order, that kind of thing. And I came across these cards. I wasn't sure what to do with them. They're basically Shakespeare quotes. And I thought, you know what? It wouldn't be bad if I started incorporating them in the stream. You know, just to have a random quote, a random Shakespeare quote, because the world needs a little bit of Shakespeare. It's Shakespeare's my jam. I love Shakespeare. Now, some of these quotes you'll recognize straight off the bat. Some of them you will not. But here we go. The very first ever quote of Shakespeare for the GRIM Gazette for Old Spirits Investigations for pretty much just about anything on this stream. Our random quote of Shakespeare today is, "Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by this son of York, and all the clouds that lord upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried." The source is King Richard III, Act 1, Scene 1. This is a brief overview of what it is. This is the opening line of Shakespeare's second longest play, Hamlet, ranks first. And it begins with one of the most stirring and character-revealing speeches. Were there enough room, the entire 42 lines of Richard's speech warrants exerting here. In it, Richard, who is the Duke of Gloucester, sets the scene. Grim-visaged war hath smoothed his wrinkled front, and reveals his physical appearance, deformed, unfinished. His nature, determined to prove a villain, and his plans, to set my brother Clarence and the king in deadly hate, the one against the other. The son of York is a reference to the reigning King Edward IV, who was the son of the Duke of York. Like Hamlet, Richard III gives each age's great and or large-egoed actors a chance to shine, as well as providing a portrait of a single character in the grip of overwhelming psychological torment. All right, so here's the thing about hey Ginger over on YouTube. Thank you very much for the shout out and the hi. How are you? So here's the thing to know about Richard III. If you know nothing about Richard III, if you want to understand the complexities and the nuances and all the cool stuff that you would get out of Richard III, I got a double feature for you. Something to think about. The first film that I want you to seek out, and I'm pretty sure it's playing online somewhere. You can also pick it up dirt cheap as a DVD. There is a brilliant film directed by Al Pacino, and it's called Looking for Richard. And it is Al Pacino's own journey into playing the part of King Richard III. Now, to be fair, I do not know if he actually played the part. I'm sure he's played the part sometime in his pantheon of acting. But if you want to see a very, very cool production of a production that really wasn't a production, I guess. If you want to just get a deep dive into what was King Richard III, the play done by William Shakespeare, Looking for Richard is a fantastic look at what the play is about. It'll explain everything, all the lineage, all the politics, all the good stuff that's in this play. Then you want to get, right after you watch that, you're going to want to get a copy of Richard III with Ian McKellen, and this is in the pre Lord of the Rings days. I want to say it was in the 90s when he did this. But Ian McKellen does a film version of Richard III, and he plays Richard III they have some fun with the setting. The setting of the play, or the setting of the film version of the play, is roughly around World War II, and it is a fascist regime that is ruling over England. And Richard III is that fascist leader, or becomes that fascist leader. It is amazing. First off, especially after you get the primer of Looking for Richard, which is a very short film. Richard III, not so much. But one, it's a great cast. Great cast of people. You know, now I gotta know, was that before or after? Ziggy, when was the film Richard III with Ian McKellen released? Yep. So, actually, it was 6 years before he were to don the robes of Gandalf. And it was 5 years before he was to don the helm of Magneto. Sir Ian McKellen played Richard III on the big screen. And this isn't really a spoiler, but this is something to watch for if you ever watch that film. It is worth it. It is so worth it. There's a line in Richard III where he is screaming, a horse, my kingdom for a horse," because he is wanting to charge into battle. Well, McKellen took that line and kind of turned it on its ear. In the film version of Richard III, he's driving a Jeep, and he gets stuck in the mud, and he starts beating on the steering wheel, and he goes, a horse, my kingdom for a horse." And man, it shows you just how versatile Shakespeare is. And yeah, I think we're gonna do this. We're gonna I'm gonna go through this deck, and then when I get back to Richard III, we will shuffle it, and we'll see where the quotes land. But yeah, those are two great ways to enjoy Richard III. Get Looking for Richard, and then do Richard III with Ian McKellen. Okay. So for those of you who are new to tonight over on YouTube or on Twitch, tonight, like I said, we're not necessarily doing gaming. We're not necessarily going to be talking about Shakespeare. But we are going to be talking about the paranormal. We are going to be talking about weird news. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff tonight, because tonight I represent Old Spirits Investigations. We are a paranormal group based out of, well, as of this week, we're going to be based out of Lynchburg, Virginia. And there's a long story behind that, but we are in the state of Virginia. We bring every season, we bring you paranormal investigations and paranormal events based in and around the Old Dominion. Some of the places we've gone to have been outside of the state. Some of the places we have investigated are in the state. Some of these places you've heard of, some of them you have not. Some of these places have been investigated by numerous teams. Other places, we are the first people with boots on the ground in that site. And we've had a great time bringing you all this different programming. But one of the other things that we tend to do, and I've just started it back up after a brief hiatus, usually around the time that I'm doing Old Spirits over on YouTube. And for those of you who are on Twitch going, well, what is Old Spirits? Let me bring you up to speed on that, because the folks that are watching over on YouTube, yeah, they already know. But yeah, this is OSI, or Old Spirits. It's a show hosted by Phil Rossi and myself. And we just wrapped up season 4, coming up on season 5. And we are so excited to bring you all this paranormal content. But one of the things that we do in between everything is we do this thing called the GRIM Gazette. And this is your weekly dose of weird news, of strange things happening in the world of paranormal. And paranormal, I use debunks in the description, but I prefer to call it paranormal analysis. We have an open invitation over on our Discord. And those of you familiar with it, you also know Discord is a communications platform, or at least it tries to be. And if you want to come in with your own clip that you would like us to take a closer look at, to see if we can debunk it, to see if we can explain what it is, or or if you've had an experience and you caught it on video, or if you caught it on audio and you want to share it with us, please feel free to go into our Discord. Go to the channel marked Grim Gazette and check us out. We'd love to see what you have to offer us. But I try to show everybody this other side of the paranormal because I think it's essential. I think that a little bit of skepticism goes a long way with the paranormal, and it makes you a better paranormal investigator. Because if everything is a ghost, if everything is a demon, if everything is unexplainable, it becomes too easy. It becomes too easy to especially fall into your own trap, as it were. And really, when it comes to the paranormal, we have to be our best gatekeepers. We have to be our most harshest critics. And that's why I don't turn my back on debunkers. That's why I don't feel like everything is a ghost or everything is supernatural or the paranormal. If you can explain it, then, everybody rests a little easier. But it's when you can't explain it. It's when you can't come up with something that should make sense but doesn't. You know what I mean? So yes, I'm a big proponent of working with debunkers and watching debunkers and paying attention to how they debunk, because then that makes me a better paranormal investigator. And I know that's a pretty hot take from someone in the paranormal, because yes, there's a difference between the debunkers who just say it's all BS versus debunkers who are like, well, let's take a closer look at this and see if we can't explain it first before we jump to the conclusion that it is something we cannot explain. Even someone like Beardo gets scared. I've seen him see stuff before. Go, I really can't explain that. And I'd rather actually have a debunker come in and say, well, it could be this, it could be something else. There was somebody that said, just as I was coming on, let's see here. Somebody left us a comment, and they said, I could have swore I saw it. Hold on. I think that branch is setting off the first REM pod. So I'm going to go on ahead, even though this is my warm-up round, and I usually wait until later to jump in and say, hey, let's look at stuff. I want to see if this person is correct or not. Don't worry. I will be bringing everybody along with me. Don't worry. So this is I believe it's the Antietam video. Antietam was a weird investigation. I'm not going to lie, everybody. Antietam was a weird investigation. It was one of those investigations where we've gotten a lot of attention on the video itself, but not a lot of things happened on that investigation. I mean, we definitely got a weird voice at one point. And it was a very distinct voice where we heard somebody say, "What is that?" And I must admit I was pretty taken aback by that. Now, I think it's the branch on the REM pod. I think that branch is setting off the first REM pod. Okay. Unfortunately, they don't say. They don't say where it is. That's the problem. Okay. I now have to scrub and see if I can find the moment where, because I remember we were out here in this field. Oh, wait a minute. I may have found this. Okay, hold on. And then we're going to take a closer look at it. Okay. Let's pop over here. Yep. Okay. All right. There's your intrepid explorer of the paranormal, yours truly. And you have the added sound effects of Ghosts of Yote in the background. That's fine. Different kind of ghost altogether, but it's okay. My wife kicks ass in this game, and I'm so proud of her. All right, here we go. I think this is what he's talking about right here. So you can hear it's a slightly windy day.
That's my wife up there. Is that you?
Okay. So, I was going to double check this. That's at 13:50. This is also one of our shortest episodes as well. So the commenter says, I think that branch is setting off the REM pod. The problem is that the REM pod is pointing away from the branch. It's pointing far enough away from the branch that the branch is in the foreground. There's nothing around that REM pod. Nothing. So that's at 13:50. Okay. So I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to drop a reply here. And make that 13. I'll make that 13:45. And then now. But before I go any further, I'm going to jump. I'm going to scan ahead. So Phil pops in at one point. Oh wait. So he put his REM pod over there. Okay, that's pretty intense even for me. I'm trying to remember if. No, I think Phil has he never brings the REM pod over here into the foreground. I'm jumping ahead. I'm doing a quick scan just to see if I can catch anything here. And doesn't look like it. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Now I'm just gonna Just a quick little look into how we do things. I will ask, do you mean at 13:45 when I am alone? Or did it happen elsewhere? Branch you see moving in the wind is in the foreground. Nothing is around my millimeter. Excuse me a moment. I have a wayward cat. He has to learn that the wall decorations are not toys. Just saying. Okay. Nothing is around my millimeter. Nothing is around my millimeter. Thank you for the question, though. We try to keep ourselves honest here, which is true. So one of the first things I would say about a comment like this is that you don't jump automatically to the defensive. You give them you give them like a time frame of like, okay, this is what I'm looking at. Is that what you're talking about? You also don't have to be a jerk about it. If they're asking a legit, or if they're making a legit observation, I personally think it's okay to ask the tough questions. I think it's more than okay to ask the tough questions of a paranormal investigator, because that's honestly how you grow in this field. Attention, all personnel. Ads in 30 seconds. Ads in 30 seconds. That is all. Now, for those of you over on YouTube, you're not going to see any ads. You're not going to see any ads. Over on Twitch, however, yes, unless you have a subscription to my channel, or if you have Twitch Turbo, then you won't see ads. Now, the thing about what you see here, where I'm working with the millimeter, and not only am I working with the millimeter, I'm working with the millimeter in EMF mode. But you'll see Phil's REM pod, like the actual black and red REM pod that you see, that's tucked away over here on the left-hand side of the screen. To my knowledge, there are no branches near it. It looks like a sea of branches there. But one of the things that we have learned, even before we started doing stuff on YouTube, you want to make sure that you have plenty of space around your devices. In fact, the more space you have around your devices, the harder it is to say, oh, that's getting interference from something else, whether it is something that is man-made, or something that is nature, or otherwise. You want to make sure there is very little around the devices that you work with, because you don't want to have anything necessarily contaminating your evidence, right? And that's the hardest thing about I wouldn't say that's the hardest thing. I would say it's one of the challenges. It is one of the challenges you face when you're doing paranormal investigations, because some of these devices, the more you understand how they work, and the more you understand what they do, it makes it easier for you to debunk something, right? In fact, I'm going to wait until after the ad break ends, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about one of what I believe is one of the easiest devices to game, if you will. And yeah, you heard that right. I'm going to tell you about the easiest device to game when it comes to the paranormal. And it's why when you get data from these devices, it does not necessarily equate to, oh, hey, it's the other side trying to make contact. That is not the case. Sometimes it is just a natural phenomenon or a natural happening that is captured using these devices. All right, so we're all back from the break now, both on Twitch. I know YouTube hasn't gone anywhere, so we're all good. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. So let's talk about the REM pod, shall we? Now, that was the question that I got here. The question that I got, or the comment that I got was, I think it's that branch that's setting off your REM pod, or millimeter in my case. Okay, so here's the thing to know about REM pods. REM pods are basically theremins. And if you don't know what theremins are these interesting musical instruments. It's one of those musical instruments of science. You can actually play you can play a theremin without touching anything. You can just push against the air, and what it is that it's reading, it's creating an electromagnetic field around itself. And what a theremin does is that it detects when there's movement, when something is breaking the EMF field that it's creating, and it starts making more or less music. A great example of the theremin are any science fiction soundtracks from sci-fi films of the 1950s. Anytime you hear that, yeah, Sheldon Cooper played. Of course Sheldon played one. That would not surprise me at all if Sheldon Cooper played a theremin. That would not. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the actor who played Sheldon, actually, that was a hobby of his. But it's a really neat device. In fact, fun little espionage / spy craft trivia. There was a theremin that the Russians built, and they put it inside this wood carving. And they offered this wood carving to the U.S. Embassy in Moscow. They had a bunch of school children present it, and oh man, the Americans thought that was so cool. They hang it up in one of the important offices of the Moscow Embassy for the United States. And for roughly, I want to say, 8 years, maybe even longer, the Russians were using that theremin in a very sophisticated way. It instead of creating musical notes, it was actually picking up on the changes in the air around the thing that was constructed, this wood carving, and it actually worked like a bug, like a bug. What? Really? He's loud. He's really loud. What? What? Do you have anything to add? Do you have anything to add, Hicks? Hicks has nothing to add. But man, you would think this cat gets 0 treats. You would think this cat right here gets 0 treats, chat. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, don't you try to get on their good side. All right, I think it's treat time. I will finish that story in a second. All right. Oh, is this a boss fight?
No, you got me down.
I'll take that as a yes. This is a boss fight. Now, EVP, you know you can't have these treats. Hicks, come here. Hicks. Evie, come on. Hicks. Come here, Hicks. Now come here, Evie. Oh no, Evie. Come on. Evie, hold on, Evie. Hold on.
Oh shit, you ass.
Evie.
No.
Patience. You got this. Oh, jeez. Hang in there with it. Don't forget your parries, baby. Don't forget your parries.
I can't.
Oh, he's a non-parryable?
He's got
Oh, jeez. Yeah, keeping the cats happy and keeping your wife happy during the time of her gaming, that can sometimes get very, very intense. Panic. She's got a watch streak, a 7 stream streak, and then Cobalt on a 3 stream streak. But you guys have been around for a long time, so I know I understand. It's Twitch wanting to make me feel better. And I know that's not really how I take it. I love the fact that you are celebrating your streaks, and I do. Feel free to streak on this stream. Yes, I know. I know how that sounds, but there it is. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah. So anyway, the Russians built this this theremin, concealed it in a gift to the American embassy in Moscow. And then for at least 8 years, it hung on the wall, and they were picking up pants are optional. That's true. And they were picking up all kinds of information from here. And the thing that made this theremin so incredible was there were no moving parts to it, which was how the Russians were able to leave it in this Moscow embassy for so many years. So that's how theremins work. Now, how does this all tie back to paranormal investigation? Okay. Well, let's say this mouse, for example. Let's say this mouse is a theremin. It's basically setting up a very modest little EMF field, and whenever something gets close to it, that's what sets off the alarms, and that's what sets off the lights. But what they don't tell you about theremins is that they are very, very sensitive. In that, if a thunderstorm is raging, if a thunderstorm is going off, like if you hear a boom or crash of thunder, that may set off your EMF because thunder and lightning are all products of supercharged molecules, supercharged electricity that creates thunder and lightning, right? So the electromagnetism that is kicked up from thunder and lightning strikes, an EMF meter can pick that up. Something else that EMF meters can pick up too that a lot of people don't realize, and apparently this is a trick that a lot of let's just say ethically challenged paranormal investigators, whether they're doing public displays for people, or whether they are on thunder and lightning, very, very frightening, Galileo, they will also set off a REM pod if they have a walkie-talkie in their hands, and all they have to do is just hit the button to talk. If they hit the push to talk button on a walkie-talkie, it basically sends out a burst of radio. It's a burst of radio waves. That burst of radio waves can also be picked up by an EMF meter. This is why, if you're ever watching what I think is one of the best shows ever produced, that was not The Ghost Hunters. Portals to Hell, every time the REM pod is going off, Jack Osborne looks off camera to his production staff, says, "Is anybody on walkies? I want to know now, is anybody on walkies?" It's because just not even speaking, not even making a connection, when you hit the button on a walkie-talkie, that is going to trigger a response on your REM pod. Now, this brings up something that happened to us in the field once. I remember we were at the candy factory in Manassas, Virginia, and we were near the site of a really, really horrific I'm trying to figure out how to describe it. It wasn't a. It was a losing battle between a car full of kids and a train. So it was a horrific accident. Boys were joyriding, and then their car got hit by a train engine and was dragged 700 yards. It stopped right by the candy factory. So the train pulls up. And suddenly the REM pod that was on my floor went off like crazy. I mean, it just completely went nuts. And to this day, I'm not 100% sure if it was caused by something paranormal or if it was something caused
by the train itself. Now, would the walkie-talkies that are on that train, would that be enough to set it off? From that distance, no, because we've tried that before. We've actually tested, walkie-talkies at a distance, and they wouldn't set off. That would have to be a very strong burst of radio waves to be picked up by EMF like that, or picked up by a REM pod or a millimeter. I'm still questioning it, but that's okay. That's okay, because whenever a REM pod is going off, it does not and again, CB. That's the other thing, though. If they're using portable CB, then that is a possibility as well. The train itself is a source of electromagnetism, right? There's a lot of stuff happening electronics-wise on a train, and this is another reason why whenever you're using REM pods or millimeters, you want to make sure you're not near a power outlet. You're not near, like, a great example is my camera setup, and you've heard me say this quite often, is that if you're using a K2 meter, if you're using a REM pod, if you're using anything like that, I need to make sure that the camera that's got the stream on it is as far away from it as possible, because you can do a sweep of a room and it could be 0-0 all the way around the room. You then reach my camera setup, which has a battery, and it also has a battery going to a phone, and the phone is actively live streaming the investigation. Suddenly you're going to see EMF get up to like 20, 30, 50. So I have to be very, very conscientious of where my camera is in relation to all the other devices, particularly the ones that measure EMF. This is another reason why I am a big fan, or I should say a bigger fan, of, yo, Zach, how are you? Over on YouTube. How are you, Zach? Hope it's a good evening for you, my friend. Good to see you there. But I have to make sure that I myself, live streaming the investigation, do not contaminate the scene. This is another reason why I'm a bigger fan of devices that follow motion, or the ones that read motion. Might be a bit quiet. Anxiety meds are kicking in. No problem. That's fine. You just relax here, Panic. You're good. You're good. Okay. You're more than good. You're great. So that's the thing to know about REM pods and millimeters. But even without that, whether it's a REM pod, whether it's a millimeter, whether it is an ITC device like a Spirit Box, or a device like the Paratech, or even the apps that you've seen me use in the past like GhostTube, their responses are not proof of the paranormal. However, when you look at all these data points, like this REM pod went off when I asked this question, then when I asked this question, this particular answer popped up in GhostTube, and then I go back and I go to the recordings and I actually pick up a whisper of something, and it's a whisper that it's none of us. That's when it gets interesting. Any new investigations in the works? Yeah. Right now, it's kind of quiet, and I'll explain why. I'm not gonna go into a lot of details, but right now, Old Spirits is presently not planning to do any investigations until probably December, January. Excuse me. For the main reason, Phil and Tina are moving. They're moving into our neck of the woods here in Virginia. And that's all I can really, I'm allowed to talk about in detail. But that is currently what's happening. And because of that, it's kind of hard to nail down any upcoming events. I know that 2 weekends ago, when we did the back-to-back Appomattox Courthouse and the Historical Village, we kind of want to do that again. And we may do that in December, because The first one, the historic jail, Phil and Tina were supposed to join us then, but they were busy getting the house ready for like open houses and things like that. So they were unable to come up on Friday. Then Saturday, when we were doing the historic village, things were really ramping up and things were cool and we were really digging it. And then Pip threw her back out and she couldn't join us at some of the places. And we had one more place to visit, which was the chapel. Chapel had some serious juju about it. And, I was like, well, I don't want to do the chapel without Pip. So we're talking already about making a special trip back in December. There might be a return trip to Linville Manor. That's another place we're thinking about. And I also just have to sit down with Phil and Tina. It's the four of us, Phil, Tina, me, and Pip. I call us the core four. We're the ones that make all the plans, and then we put the feelers out to people around us, and we go, "Hey, do you want to join us?" And some people make the trip, some people won't. But that's our big plan right now. I know that I personally would like to put on the list for places for us to visit. The place I was telling you about, Zach, which was the Ohio. I think it's the Ohio Reformatory. It is the prison where they shot the Shawshank Redemption. And the reason I'm thinking about that for February, maybe even February, if not February, March, early March, is mainly because they knocked down the price of going there by like 40 or 60%. And I wouldn't say no about doing that place because even the cast members of the Shawshank Redemption were like, yeah, there was something weird going on there. And I've heard really good things about the place, and I hear that the people that run the place take good care of the place. This is something that we'll be touching base on, I think, tonight in the Grim Gazette about, when you want to do an investigation, not only do you have a financial investment to make in a property, but it's also good to know where the money is going in the upkeep of said property. And for those of you who missed the Grim Gazette last week, you should still be able to catch the VOD over on Twitch and definitely on YouTube. But it was that particular VOD where I talked about last week, I should say. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not last week, the week before last. So it was actually 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I did a deep dive discussion into the current state of Penhurst Asylum. And sorry, my wife is my wife of Infinite Awesome is chiming in. Sorry, what was that?
They also just started saying, "Oh, look, you can get ready for next year."
Yeah.
For next year's.
For the Penhurst Paracon. I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts about the Penhurst Paracon, and I've shared them before on this channel. So I'll just say we're not making plans to return. We're not making plans to return. Okay, that being said, it's time I start arranging windows because it is 7 o'clock. Okay. It is 7 o'clock on a Wednesday. And you know what that means, everybody. You do. And if you don't, you're about to. It's time to get weird. Nothing says professional quite like going into the opening montage of the Grim Gazette, and in the background you hear this voice going, "I made bad choices! I made bad choices! I made bad choices!" Oh, I love my wife so much. I really do. I really, really do. Zach, you're lucky. You're very, very lucky that where you do your video black magic is probably detached from where your funny little honey would be. Okay, everybody. But no, I'm glad she's up here. I didn't want her to be downstairs by herself. It's like the voice in your head suddenly finds the microphone. You know what I'm saying? It is once again time for the Grim Gazette. This is your weekly dose of weird news, of paranormal analysis, and then a deep dive discussion into something that is happening in the circles of the paranormal. My name is T. Morris. I am one of the founders of Old Spirits Investigations. For those of you who are not watching on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, you already know what Old Spirits is. But for those of you over on Twitch, if you're watching over on Twitch, this is Old Spirits. Old Spirits is the investigation show where we basically take the live footage that you see from one of our lives, and then you go on ahead and you watch me do the thing on footage review nights, and then the end result is going to be Old Spirits. We have just completed season 4. We are going to be heading into season 5 in March of 2026. We hope you will join us then. Molly just opens the doors and yells down as I'm recording. Yeah. It's what they do. It's what our better halves do, Zach. It's what they do. But yes, the Grim Gazette is your weekly dose of weird news, and that's what we're going to start off with. And one of the things I noticed about the weird news segment is I'm noticing that a lot of weird news that's being reported is about animals just being fun. Animals, mammals, fish, whatever. They're just not acting normal. But you know what? Personally, I think what this particular fauna did, if you will, I think they did the right thing. Seal jumps onto boat to escape killer whales. Seal jumps on a boat to escape killer whales. My opinion, you did the right thing there. You did the right thing there. Okay, everybody, let's get into it. A group of amateur whale watchers off the coast of Washington's Camano Island captured video when a seal jumped onto their boat to escape a pod of killer whales. And yes, we're going to be watching the video after I read this. Photographer Charvette Drucker captured video of the encounter November 2nd when she and her friends spotted the pod of orcas in the Sarasota Passage. We were on the boat watching some orcas about 300, 400 yards away from them when the hunt began, Drucker wrote on Facebook. The group noted the killer whales were engaging in predation behavior with a seal. Smith Serumskull, another member of the whale watching party, said on Facebook that the pod had been using him as hunting practice and he'd been batted out of the water more than once. The group shut off the boat's engines in case the animals came closer, and just over half an hour later, the seal came even closer than expected. It jumped onto the boat. Everybody. And that's exactly what it sounded like. The seal ran up and just went and landed in the boat. The whale watchers said the orcas circled the boat in search of the seal, but gave up and left after 15 minutes. The group eventually restarted the boat's engine and headed back towards shore with its semi-aquatic passenger still on deck. Once we got close to the shore, the seal decided it was safe enough to leave the boat and jump off on its own accord, Drucker wrote. Okay, I really hope that they caught this all on video, because if they caught this on video, that would be baller. Okay, here we go, everybody.
Oh my God. Oh, you poor thing.
We noticed that the seal had popped up and noticed us. The moment it saw us, it turned for us and just bolted. And at that point, we saw dorsal fins.
Oh my God, look at this.
The orca are searching all around for it, and the seal is basically directly underneath the boat.
Whoa!
Is he trying to get on? He's not trying. He's on.
No, I'm on, bitches.
His eyes are sticking up over the back seat as if he's checking out.
My cat looks at me that
am I
way.
better off up here or down there? We're surrounded by whales. After about 20 minutes realizing the food wasn't coming back off the boat, they kind of lost interest and moved on. He's just looking around with those big
oh my God
eyes. It was ridiculous. He kind of settled in after about half an hour's nap. He kind of gets up and he sniffs the air and realizes he's okay, and then off he went.
Bye, buddy.
We really thought that we'd be able to experience anything like that firsthand. That is likely to be the single most unique wildlife encounter I'll ever have.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool as hell. I'm sorry. That's cool. That is awesome. Or I hear stomping from the daughter and son playing in the basement. Well, there you go. There you go. That's just the joys of parenthood, Zach. That's the joys of parenthood. Oh my God, that was great. That was great. What a great experience too for the people involved. All right. Since we're talking about animals, I think this is fair. National Zoo announces 4 cheetah cubs born at Virginia facility. So, I mean, I had to cover this because, let's be honest, this is hometown news. Oh, hold up one second for friends over there on Twitch. Attention, all personnel. Ads in 25 seconds. Ads in 25 seconds. That is all. Okay. And for those of you over on Twitch, just a quick little something to tell you. You do not necessarily have to sub to my channel in order to sidestep the ads. You can if you want to, and I would appreciate it, of course. I mean, I love me some subs. But if you don't want to do that, you can always do Twitch Turbo, and that's just a way to help Twitch keep the lights on. For those of you on YouTube, chill. Drop them pants, prop them feet up, and chill. You got nothing to worry about. I think you get ads at the beginning and at the end of a live. I'm not sure how they divvied up in a live, but there you go. So anyway, let's get back to what happened over at the National Zoo. So the Smithsonian's National Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute. I believe that last part is sort of a nicer way of saying, yeah, we're the Smithsonian. Yes, we run the National Zoo, but we're really trying to take care of these critters, okay? The Smithsonian's National Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute announced 4 cheetah cubs were born to a first-time mother during the government shutdown. If you want to drop in some awes via blurb, you feel free. But yeah, there you go. There you go. The zoo announced in a news release that 5-year-old Amabala, who was herself born at the facility in 2020, gave birth to her first litter of cubs October 17th and 18th at the Smithsonian Conservation Biology Institute in Fort Royal. Unlike cheetahs living in our zoo in Washington, D.C., cubs born at SCBI experienced limited human contact early in their lives, officials wrote. This helps the cubs bond naturally with their mother while giving staff biologists a chance to perform different types of behavioral research that are possible in a zoo habitat. Members of the public can still see the cubs, however, thanks to the facility's Cheetah Cub Cam live stream on the zoo's website. The cubs were sired by 8-year-old Flash. I couldn't have asked for a better segue than that. Who already had 3 cubs from a previous litter with a different mother. Woo! Man, Flash gets around, man. I tell you what. Let's go, Flash. To allow first-time mom Amabella to bond with and care for her cubs, staff are remaining hands-off but are watching the cam in case they need to step in. The cubs appear to be strong, active, vocal, and eating well, officials wrote. 4 cubs were welcomed as a milestone for cheetah conservation. Cheetahs can be challenging to breed, in part because female reproductive cycles can be sporadic and their behavior is often very difficult to interpret, said Adrian Crossier, a carnivore biologist at the head of the Smithsonian's Cheetah Species Survival Plan. It's taken our team of keepers, veterinary staff, and biologists thousands of man-hours to produce 20 litters. For that 20th litter to be Amabala's is an exciting full-circle moment for us. So, let's see what happened here. Cheetah Amabala gives birth to 4 cubs. Let's see how this goes. All right. Aww. Aww. I think this might be the actual footage of Mama birthing them babies. I don't think there's any Oh my God. I feel like I have a newfound appreciation for this chat. After we rescued Evie, it turns out Evie was she was nursing, like, you know, she had a litter herself. She birthed 5 kittens. All of her litter survived, I should say. But they were giving me and Pip some, like, you know, they were definitely giving me and Pip the lowdown of, yes, there is a possibility that the mom will reject the litter, which means you're going to be in charge of making sure that the kittens get fed and that the kittens are kept warm and all this stuff. And I got to give mad props to my wife of infinite awesome, Pip Ballantyne. She watched nearly every possible video you could watch about how to take care of kittens in case the mother rejected. Well, the good news is, much like this mother, much like this cheetah, Evie took straight away to the kittens, and oh my God, she was a great mother. I don't know if I'd call her a great mother now, because at random she will just hiss and swing at her kids like they're pissing her off, and like she looks at them, and I swear to God, the voice I hear is this:
Why aren't you in college? Why aren't you in the military? Do something with your life. Why are you still here? Damn it! I'm supposed to be popping up my feet and having bonbons. But instead I got you little monsters running around me.
That's the voice I hear in my head anyway. But this cheetah right here, it looks like she is doing just fine. And she's like, yeah, you don't, yeah. You see that look on her face.
Don't you be touching my babies. My babies are fine. They're cheetahs. They will chew your face off. Oh, look at my little babies right here. I'm just gonna groom my babies. We could watch this in loop, chat. Hello, chat. Welcome to the Smithsonian National Zoo. These are my babies. These are more of my babies. I mean, I'm a cheetah. I'll chew your face off, but these are my babies. See, they're already learning how to play.
I could do that all day, chat. I want to warn you, I could do that all day. In fact, that might not be a bad idea. What if I did that live? I just went to the, and this was very much like Evie. Evie would pass out, and the kittens would be like, "Oh, hey, bar's open," and then they'd help themselves. Yeah, raising kittens from birth is an entirely different experience. But you guys turned out fine, didn't you? Yeah, this is Dorito right here. This is Dorito. Come here, Dorito. Oh, come here. Oh. This is Dorito. See, look, Dorito. It's your ancestors. It's your ancestors. You have evolved. You have evolved from this. From this. See?
Does that mean I can recruit them for crimes? Crimes, Dad, crimes. Crimes!
Okay. That was fun. That was fun. Oh my God. Bebe kittens. Bebe kittens. But these are kittens that when they grow up, they could chew your face off. So you got to be careful about that. Yeah, he has gotten big, hasn't he, Cobalt? Yeah, he's gotten big. Now, I want to assure everybody, not all of these stories are animal related. But man, it was hard to find some that weren't. Like this one, and man, did I have to cover this one because, and Pip's gonna love this because she's in the next room, so she gets to hear me do my Australian accent. Here it goes. Now you're gonna love this one, Pip. You're gonna love this one. Here we go. Me. Here we go. Australian prisoner sues for his human right to eat Vegemite. Are you ready for this weird news story? Here we go, chat. Here we go, crocky. Melbourne, Australia. A prisoner is challenging an Australian state ban on inmates eating Vegemite, claiming in a lawsuit that without holding that withholding the polarizing yeast-based... That's tough to do. Claiming in a lawsuit that withholding the polarizing yeast-based spread breaches his human right to enjoy his culture as an Australian. Whew. That's exhausting, chat. Okay, I'll just do it when it comes to the voice, okay? But Andre McKechnie, 54, serving a life sentence for murder, took his battle to the salty, sticky brown sticky brown byproduct of brewing beer to the Supreme Court of Victoria, according to documents released by the Associated Press on Tuesday. Most Australians revere Vegemite as an unfairly maligned culinary icon, and more than 80% of Australian households are estimated to have a jar in their pantries. But inmates in all 12 prisons in Victoria are going without. McKechnie is suing Victoria's Department of Justice and Community Safety and the agency that manages the prisons, Corrections Victoria. The case is scheduled for trial next year. Challenging the ban. Vegemite has been banned from Victorian prisons since 2006, with Corrections Victoria saying it interferes with narcotic detection dogs. Inmates used to smear packages of illicit drugs with Vegemite in the hopes that the odor would distract the dogs from the contraband. Vegemite also contains yeast, which is banned from Victorian prisons because of its potential to be used in the production of alcohol, the contraband list says. A decade ago, Vegemite's then U.S. owner, Mondelez International, rejected media reports that remote Australian indigenous communities were using Vegemite to brew alcohol in bathtubs. Mondelez said in a statement that manufacturing process kills the yeast and that Vegemite cannot be fermented into alcohol. He's not Australian, so that's why I didn't use the accent. McKechnie is seeking a court declaration that the defendants denied him his right under the Charter of Human Rights and Responsibilities Act to enjoy his culture as an Australian. The act guarantees all persons with a particular culture, religious, racial, or linguistic background the right to enjoy their culture, to declare and practice their religion, and to use their language. Amen. Crack 2. Crocky. He also wants a declaration that the defendants breached the Corrections Act by failing to produce food adequate to maintain McKechnie's well-being. Manufactured in Australia since 1923 as an alternative to Britain's Marmite, Vegemite was long marketed as a source of vitamin B for growing children. The spread is beloved by a majority of Australians, but typically considered an acquired taste and best by those who weren't raised on it. The latest U.S. president to visit Australia, Barack Obama, once said, it's horrible. Australian band Men at Work aroused international curiosity when they mentioned a Vegemite sandwich in their 1980s hit Down Under. The band's lead singer, Colin Hay, once accused American critics of laying Vegemite on too thick, blaming a more is more U.S. culture. It's a favorite on breakfast toast and in cheese sandwiches, with most fans agreeing it's best applied sparingly. Australian travelers bemoaned Vegemite's scarcity overseas. The Australian government intervened in April when Canadian officials temporarily prevented a Toronto-based cafe from selling Vegemite in jars and on toast in a dispute media branded as Vegemite Gate. The Canadians relented and allowed the product to be sold despite its failure to comply with local regulations dealing with food packaging and vitamin fortification. This is probably more than you all wanted to know about Vegemite, but we'll push on. Department of Justice and Community Safety and Corrections Victoria declined to comment Tuesday. Government agencies generally maintain it is not appropriate to comment on issues that are before the courts. Prisons in Queensland, South Australia, and Tasmania states and the Australian Capital Territory also ban Vegemite, but Australia's most populous state, New South Wales, does not. Other Australian jurisdictions, Western Australia State and the Northern Territory, have yet to tell AP where they stand on the spread. Victims of crime advocate lawyer John Herron said it was a frivolous lawsuit that was offensive to victims' families. Okay, this is about the victims' families, so I'm not going to do the silly accent. As victims, we don't have any rights. We have limited, if any, support. It's always about the perpetrator, and this just reinforces that, says Herron, whose daughter, Courtney Herron, was beaten to death in the Melbourne Park in 2019. Her killer was not found not guilty of murder by reason of mental impairment. It is not a case of Vegemite or Nutella, or whatever it may be. It's an extra perk that is rubbing our faces in the tragedy that we've suffered, Herron added. So, I'm definitely giving him that. McKechnie is held in a maximum security Port Phillip prison. He was 23 years old when he stabbed to death wealthy Gold Coast property developer Otto Kuhn in Queensland in 1994. He was sentenced to life for murder and transferred a decade later from the Queensland to the Victoria prison system. McKechnie's lawyer didn't respond for a comment. Okay, so to really get an eye on this, I'm gonna bring in an expert. Hey, Pip, can you pause the game for a second? Come in here. Come in here. You not your brother.
My brother is not Australian.
No, your brother's not Australian, but I want to talk. All right, everyone, this is my wife. This is my Sheila.
Now, just before you insult me, Vegemite is Australian, Marmite is from New Zealand.
Now, okay, but they're saying it was actually originated from Britain. Is this the case?
Yes.
Okay, so first big question.
It is now different, though, from Australian and New Zealand spreads.
But what is the difference between Marmite and Vegemite?
It's where it comes from. I think Marmite is like a... Oh, I don't know. You're going to have to look at that one. I know one's Australian and one's from New Zealand. That's all you need to know.
But it says it's vitamin V for vitality.
Oh, they've all got that.
Okay.
They've all got that. It's derived from the brewing process.
Right. So I should say, right, that's what I know. But, okay, so here's the thing about Vegemite. I remember one time, I on a dare, I had to eat a huge dollop of Vegemite off of Leanne Mayberry's finger. Was that Vegemite or Marmite? I think it was Vegemite. Oh, it would have been Marmite. But here's the thing. Chat. I don't mind saying this. If you look in the background, you can see that it is very thinly spread. Okay. The trick of Marmite, because there is a difference between Marmite and Vegemite. There is something in the taste, and Vegemite is pretty rough. It's pretty intense. Marmite, in my opinion, is a bit smoother, but they should both be just stretched very thin across toast with butter. Butter takes the edge off. Whether it's Vegemite or Marmite, butter takes the edge off. Now, this is true. I had a wicked hangover. And we were in the UK. I was trying to keep up with the groom. I was there for a wedding, and the groom just not only did he and his buddies drink me under the table, I was so hungover the next day. Our bed and breakfast host suggested I have some toast, and it's going to have this brown substance on it called Marmite. Don't worry, it'll actually take care of you. And I'm not kidding. After half of toast, the Marmite was it tasted amazing. Secondly, my massive hangover disappeared within 5 minutes. I'm not kidding. 5 minutes. And then I got hungry. I finished off Marmite is great, but if you're spreading it on like butter, it's too much. If you're spreading it on like peanut butter, it's too much. You basically apply the butter, make sure it's nice and even among the bread, and then you add on just a wee bit of Marmite. But my Sheila down there, she's absolutely right. Vegemite is an Australian delicacy.
No, that's
Vegemite. All right. A relic from the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald is returned, plus $600,000 from Michigan. Now, I bring this up because we all know the song about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, right? It is rumored that apparently ghosts have been seen from the Edmund Fitzgerald, or where the Edmund Fitzgerald went down. What's hard to bring that story around fully is that the Edmund Fitzgerald is underwater, and usually ghosts haunt a place where the ship or whichever else resides. And if the ship is underwater, then it's kind of hard to investigate a shipwreck for paranormal activity. Just saying that. Al, how are you? Good to have you in Facebook. Good to have you over on YouTube. Always good to see you. But I thought this would be a good slightly paranormal spin. This is we're good with this. But yeah, let's take a look at this. Detroit. Oh, there you go, Z. Straight from the backyard. Detroit. State of Michigan is giving up ownership of a rare relic from the famous Edmund Fitzgerald shipwreck, just weeks after it strangely obtained it through a settlement in a lawsuit that was completely unrelated to the doomed freighter. Larry Orr is getting one of those ship's life rings back, and the state will pay $600,000 to settle his lawsuit over police misconduct. I feel a whole lot better, Orr 77 told the Associated Press this week. In 1975, 8 days after the Fitzgerald sank in Lake Superior, killing all 29 men, Orr said he found the life ring and a piece of a lifeboat on shore in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. There was an eerie feeling, maybe someone had survived, he recalled. I looked around for footprints or any sign of life for a while and never found anything. Fast forward 50 years to this autumn, Orr was in talks with the Michigan State Police to settle a lawsuit. He accused Lieutenant David Busaccia of violating his rights during a sexual abuse investigation that was ultimately discredited. Orr had spent 5 months in jail in addition to house arrest before charges were dropped in 2019. Yikes, this took a wild turn. Orr and his attorney, Shannon Smith, said the state suddenly expressed interest in the Fitzgerald life ring during the negotiations. Orr said Busaccia was aware that he owned it when he saw paperwork during a search of his Michigan home. Orr said he felt he was being manipulated, but he also needed the money to move out of a recreation vehicle in Yulee, Florida. Smith said throwing the ring into the deal raised the settlement to $600,000 from roughly $300,000. I think we should have gotten $1 million for everything they did to me, Orr said. The AP was first to report the particular detail on October 23rd when state police were asked to explain why it was appropriate to bargain for the life ring. Spokesperson Shannon Banner said the department was not comfortable with including the relic. This is the weirdest. This story itself is weird. It's got a weird flow to it. Additional talks among lawyers to a new agreement. Orr gets the ring back, while taxpayers will still be on the hook for $600,000 to close the police misconduct lawsuit. Banner acknowledged the terms this week. For decades, Orr allowed the Great Lakes Shipwreck Museum in Paradise, Michigan, to display the original ring, which has Fitzgerald in stenciled letters. Now he might sell it at auction. Orr said he was trying to buy a modular home and his wife's car is on its last legs. I need all the money I can get, he said. Not the story I was expecting. Not the story I was expecting. But there you are. And there it is. SS Edmund Fitzgerald. Oh, wow. Could you imagine? Could you imagine walking along the beach and suddenly finding that? That's wild. It's also nice that someone finally finds me funny. Now, come on, Al. Come on. You are always welcome here. You know that. Okay. This one I'm looking forward to. This one should be fun. Okay, let me zoom in on this a bit. Okay, billionaire roundly mocked. Okay, can I go back to the article, please? Please, HuffPo. Please, HuffPo. Thank you. Billionaire roundly mocked over his cringy pickup line, some crazy unk advice. Okay, let's see how this goes. I have a feeling this is gonna be a good one. Social media users turned down Bill Ackman's dating advice after he talked up its effectiveness on strangers. Okay. Billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman offered his 2 cents to young men looking to meet singles over the weekend. Social media users overwhelmingly cringed at his dating advice. Ackman, in a post on X, oh well, there's your first problem. Ackman, in a post on X on Saturday, claimed that, quote, online culture has destroyed the ability to spontaneously meet strangers. For sharing a pickup line he claimed to use on people he found compelling in his youth. I would ask, may I meet you? Before engaging further into a conversation. I almost never got a no, claimed the Trump-backing billionaire who married Neri Oxman in 2019 after a divorce with his first wife of 24 years, Karen Hershkovitz. It inevitably enabled the opportunity for further conversation. I met a lot of really interesting people this way. I think the combination of proper grammar and politeness was the key to its effectiveness. You might give it a try. He later added that the line should work on women seeking men and same-sex interactions. Okay. A number of users on the platform tested out Ackman's line in public, while other critics mocked it, with one user calling it some crazy uncle advice or crazy unk advice, and another flat out declaring that it's not going to work. So here's one tweet. May I meet you as a pickup line is some crazy unk advice. What has he done? May I meet you? Men don't open with may I meet you. It's not going to work. I like meats. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Sydney Sweeney. May I meet you? Regarding Bill Ackman's may I meet you advice for approaching girls. Obviously hilarious, but also a great reminder of how far removed billionaires and celebrities are from actual society. They have zero clue how normal people interact, and it's good to remember that. Bill Ackman's may I meet you tweet could go down as his most viral moment since his Hell is Coming segment on CNBC back during the March 2020 COVID days. Guy simply just knows what to say to get attention, whether good or bad. Thanks, Bill. This is peak Riz. Just tried this at the cafe and had 7 different women call the authorities, which I understand is a common way of playing hard to get. I'm now banned from the cafe. May I meet you? He billionaired softly. The funniest thing about May I Meet You meme will be when it reaches such cult popularity as an inside joke that it starts to work as an ironic pickup line. Oh my God, that's great. May I meet you? May I meet you? Wow. And this will be our last story of the night. New York woman killed by flying solar panel during nor'easter. I'm not sure how funny I should make this, but that's kind of brutal if you think about it. That's some Final Destination shit right there. New York City woman killed by flying solar panel. Oh my God, and she was 76. Okay, I'm going to go very gently into this story, chat. I'm going to do as best as I can here. If anybody gets triggered by this, I apologize. I sincerely do apologize. There we go. A 76-year-old woman was killed in Coney Island after a powerful nor'easter that struck the East Coast and a large solar panel flying in her direction. According to CBS News New York, the panel traveled approximately 20 feet away from Ocean Parkway near Brighton Beach Avenue, leaving a hole that remains visible to this day. A nor'easter is a storm that brings heavy rain and strong winds along the East Coast. Oh. Witnesses to the fatal accident said the woman couldn't stand up after the collision, while another remarked that the incident left him speechless. Videos obtained by the outlet shows the harrowing moment the wind carried the panel from a nearby parking lot into the path of the woman. This is crazy, Adam Rubenstein, a resident of the neighborhood, told the outlet. My uncle lives in this building. I live in the next building. It could have been anybody. The victim was identified as Ludmila Braun. Ludmila Braun. The outlet spoke with her husband on Monday about the tragic accident. We just hope that it didn't happen to anyone else again. That is the most important thing. Safety first, her husband, Mark Braun, stated. We're just distraught right now. We're at a loss for words. The network reported that the New York City Department of Buildings vacated the parking lot near the scene, closed the entrance to the city's Q train following the accident. The New York Post stated that Ludmila Braun was taken to NYU Langone Hospital, Brooklyn, where she was later pronounced dead. Since Sunday night, New York and New Jersey were placed under a state of emergency. The Associated Press noted that the areas affected experienced winds ranging from up to 60 miles per hour and were affected by up to 5 inches of rain. Good Lord. Not necessarily the one that I wanted to end on, but geez. Okay. You all know I'm green around here. You know I love me some green technology. This is one of those rare incidences, okay? This isn't the fault of the solar panel, nor is it the fault of the technology itself. Somebody did not install that solar panel. It's supposed to be ready for stuff like this, you know? I think I need a break. I need a break from that. That did not go as I expected. This is why sometimes it's important for me to read the articles. I try to be spontaneous with the articles when I first get them. This one I should have read. Okay, I'm gonna go and get some hydration because I need it. So when we get back, we're gonna return to our video from last week, see if we come across anything that we can or cannot explain, and then we're gonna get into the paranormal deep dive. So right now, let's take a break. Just prop your feet up, or if you haven't taken your meds, please take your meds. If you haven't stretched your hammies in a while, go ahead and do that. Give your legs a walk off. Give your arms and shoulders a bit of a roll because you might need that as well. I'm gonna go get some hydration, and I will be right back. You are watching. In fact. Yes. I got the. Do I have the right reel up there? I do have the right reel up there. You are watching, in fact, the T Monster. I am the T Monster. You call me TT Monster or Twitch Dad. And tonight, you are getting your weekly dose of weird news. And coming up next, paranormal analysis here at the Grim Gazette. Be right back, everybody.
So, Jack, you are upset that Wesley fought for Virginia, fought against his own people from Gettysburg. That must have been aggravating.
Did you just whisper?
Were you scared? With this long grass here? When you faced against the Confederate Army? Or when you faced against the Union Army?
Only 1
a.m.
Almost 1. Hasn't felt like 6.5 hours.
No, it has not. It has not.
Now I know.
Heard that too, babe.
Yeah. Hello?
We're just going to introduce ourselves, and then we are going to sit in silence to give you a chance to introduce yourself. My name is T.
My name is Pip.
My name is Val.
Hi, I'm John Walker to my friends, and hopefully we can count you as those.
Well, you just got a yes from here, or at least you got the candle lit here.
Oh, well,
So
nice to meet you.
I think that's a good sign.
Yes. Yep.
Did you all hear that?
I did hear that.
That was, yeah.
Sounded like a.
Sounded like, well, I thought it sounded like movement over there.
No, I heard a voice. Oh, I heard a voice. Like a. Is that you, Mary?
Okay, did you all just hear that?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you all hear that?
Yes.
We're not any type of organization. You're okay. You're gonna be okay. You can talk to us. We're here friendly and respectful. We're not an organization in any way. Yeah.
Exactly.
We're very friendly and we come with full respect. Are you scared? Nervous maybe? A lot of people, huh? Yeah.
So I tell you what. Yeah? If you're good with us going back to the mess hall and having somebody else try to talk to you.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Okay, well then, all right, calm down. In the words of Ted, calm down. But let us grab our gear, and then we're gonna go and we're gonna go. No, we're not going. We're just moving to a different spot to talk to you. Is that good? Is that okay? If you want me to back off, you gotta go up to the blue light. The REM pod is Phil's. The REM pod's Phil thing. The blue light is my thing. No?
No.
What if I ask please? Because you're right, I'm in the South. I should know my manners. If you want me to back off, you gotta go up to the blue light. The REM pod is Phil's. The REM pod's Phil thing. The blue light is my thing. No?
No.
What if I ask please? Because you're right, I'm in the South. I should know my manners. If you want me to back off, you gotta go up to the blue light. The REM pod is Phil's. The REM pod's Phil thing. The blue light is my thing. No?
No.
What if I ask please? Because you're right, I'm in the South. I should know my manners. If you want me to back off, you gotta go up to the blue light. The REM pod is Phil's. The REM pod's Phil thing. The blue light is my thing. No?
No.
What if I ask please? Because you're right, I'm in the South. I should know my manners. If you want me to back off, you gotta go up to the blue light. The REM pod is Phil's. The REM pod's Phil thing. The blue light is my thing.
No.
No?
It sounded like no.
What if I ask please? Because you're right, I'm in the South. I should know my manners. Did you shoot my friend? That was a bad choice. That was a bad... These people are shooting at me. I'm going to voice my displeasure. Here. There you go. There you go.
That was very unpleasant.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute, Steve. I'm coming for you.
I wouldn't recommend it. They're all shooting at me. They're all
Who loves you? Who loves you, buddy?
Okay, all right.
Who loves you? Who loves you? Who loves you? I love you.
My family does.
I love you. I love you too. I love you too. You albino. You albino god. You blind albino god. You know. I got steaming undies for you in the worst way. I do. I love you so much.
Oh my god! Shut up.
Chat, we take this act on the road. That's the best bit. Well, I have ascending dots on my PKE meter here, so.
Yeah, that's what I was burning up. What is the?
Still says it's ascending. Oh, Steve!
It's over there. It's done. Let's blast it. Rock's going out.
Oh,
look at this.
Oh, I found a. Hey, wait, where'd that rift come from? I think we knocked it out of Steve's hands.
No, it was in that room. I saw it. It was like, ah.
Bye, Steve.
Get him in there. Get him in there.
Okay. All right. Get this rift. Concentrate on the rift. Pack's about to overheat.
That's fine. That's fine. Take the rift. Take
I
it.
don't like the way he says that. I don't like
Take
the way he
the
says
rift.
that. Is he sneaking up behind us?
I'm just excited that I found it.
What is my name?
Yeah.
My name is Sabotage Your Backpack is what my name is.
Uh-huh.
My name is Sabotage Your Backpack.
Uh-huh. Right.
You s-
All right.
All right, my friend.
Okay. Going back in.
Going back in. All right.
All right.
I'm gonna play a little harmonica.
Oh wait, before you go back in, Steve, there was somebody who had a question for you. How are you handling the dark?
Oh, fine.
I mean,
Because I'm not having to move around and I don't need to see where I'm going. I'm fine.
there you go.
All right, say goodbye, Steve.
Okay.
Say goodbye, Steve. Goodbye, Steve.
Oh, can I get your light? Thank you.
Let's see if we can talk to Jack again, because last time we were here.
How about a little harmonica?
Yeah, give a little harmonica for Jack.
You can.
You can.
Chords.
I am playing chords.
Chords, yeah.
Keep playing.
Keep playing then, Phil.
That's good.
You don't have to know anything about the movies or the books to be able to get into the show, because it is set thousands of years before any of the books or movies anyway. So it's been really great to just obviously be able to kind of just sit down and watch it and just enjoy it for the lore for what it is. My favorite episode so far actually has been, now actually the pilot was really good, but I actually really enjoyed episode 6, which was the especially the ending there with the creation of a certain volcano that I'm really excited to be able to see more of, and seeing how that kind of develops. Don't tell me, because you've seen episode 7. Anyway. But T, what's been your favorite episode?
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. The one in Casa Doom, where Durin says to, oh, you haven't seen that one yet? You haven't? Dude, why are you here?
No, stop it!
I get it. No, hang on.
Safe space.
F that, dude, why are you here? You should be back in your room watching Lord of the Rings Rings of Power right now. So the thing I liked about, first off, when it comes to on-screen bromances, we thought we had the ultimate in the original trilogy, but let's be honest, there's never been a better bromance on television than Elrod and Durin. I mean, when Durin says, what was that?
They were behind
us. So yeah, I mean, when he said, and not just that, what makes them.
Hi, I'm Steve Saylor, aka Blind Gamer Steve. I'm a content creator and accessibility advocate and consultant in the video game industry.
My name is T Morris. People call me T, they call me T Monster. I also go by Twitch Dad.
When I started looking into wanting to stream, I had known this dude here for about, I think about 10 years at that point. And so I reached out to him. I was like, hey, you know what? I know you play Destiny. Would you be cool at kind of helping me and guiding me through the game? I've never played it before.
This is when I gave you a little bit of honesty. I said, are you sure you want me? Because you see me play, so you know how bad my aim is. It'll be the blind leading the blind. And he went, that's what we'll call it.
All right, there's the Traveler. There's the Traveler in front of us. Let's go. Walk forward. Walk forward. I want you to enjoy this.
As someone who has a disability where it affects my vision, and it is hard for me to be able to play games in general, having someone take the time and guide me through being able to play a game and not try to rush me through things, that meant the world to me.
Where's that? All right. Oh, there he is. Yes!
In any other game, it's usually people don't want to play with a disabled person, whereas with Destiny, I can jump in with tea, I can jump in with my friends, and even when we just jump in with random blueberries in the community, we can still be able to help each other out, and that's why I love Destiny.
Did you shoot my friend? That was a bad choice.
It's all about being able to reach out and pick someone up and being like, we can do this together. And that is being a hero. It's being able to lift everyone else up.
It's not about you. It's about the fire team. That's what makes a good guardian, is when it's about reaching the end goal and reaching it together.
Hope everybody had a chance to stretch. Hope everybody had a chance to give yourself a break. Give yourself a little TLC. All right. We are in the second half of the Grim Gazette. I'm your host, T. Morris. You can call me TT Monster or Twitch Dad. Those of you who have not been here before, whether you're on YouTube or whether you are on Twitch, the Grim Gazette is OSI, or Old Spirits Investigation's weekly dose of weird news, paranormal analysis, which we're about to get into, and deep dive discussions into things that are happening in the paranormal circle. I am one of the founders of Old Spirits Investigations, or OSI. And for those of you who are on YouTube already, you know OSI. But if you on Twitch have no idea what OSI is, this is who we are. And we have 4 seasons of content waiting for you if you haven't seen any of them. Now, if you're Zach Finds Fish, you're burning through all that content. So I hope we will have enough content for you to get through to last you all the way up to season 5. Season 5 will be coming in spring of 2026. We are very, very pleased that we're about to kick off season 5, and it has been an amazing experience. But I started the Grim Gazette as a ways and means of really working with the paranormal in a more critical fashion, where we can look at something and analyze it and try to figure out whether or not something is truly paranormal, or if it's just hyped up. Now, here's the thing about Nuke's Top 5. Let me get this disclaimer out of the way. Okay. I am well aware that Nuke's Top 5 has done some hinky stuff in the past. Not only have they tried to pass off student-made and amateur-made horror movies and suspense films as paranormal evidence, they have also used content without permission and without attribution. I know that Nuke's Top 5 tends to show stuff that is over the top and maybe even a little bit sensational, but we are restarting the Grim Gazette. So I thought, you know what, we could do some Nuke's Top 5 and see how it goes. And it's just an easy way of getting some paranormal clips together and saying, okay, what makes this paranormal? What doesn't make it paranormal? What is it about this that is legit, and what about it is kind of questionable? Because there are some questionable things that have popped up in Nuke's Top 5. Now, in the future, if you have a clip that you know of on YouTube or Instagram, and it's between 1 minute and 5 minutes, please feel free to share that in our Discord. You can go to our Discord, and you can go to Grim Gazette, and you can drop the link in there, and that way I can look at it before I put it up here. Okay. Now, if you want it to be really just obviously fake, so I can say, okay, this is what we're looking at, feel free. If you want to try to stump me and say, well, you know what, I don't think you could debunk this one, feel free. If it's something that if it's something that you yourself have experienced, I'd be willing to look at that too. But please keep in mind, I have the right, and I will reserve the right to debunk it if I can figure out what caused it. All right? Okay. With that being said, we turn down the music and we find out what is happening in the latter half. We watched the first 5 here. Now let's look at the back half and latter 5 here. Let's see what Nuke has for us. Here we go.
Did you see it?
I already
when
talked
Tristan
about this.
checks his footage later and zooms in on the doorway, there's a strange transparent apparition just standing there. The figure is small, about the size of a child, and it quickly glides off into the hallway. Immediately after, the box violently flies off the storage shelf.
Okay, one, that is not violently flying off the shelf. So, cool your jets there, Nuke. Secondly, I talked about how the optics of these types of cameras are not always great. So, there's that.
These days, Tristan says nothing seems to be working to get rid of the poltergeist.
Also, the cat was very chill that is my first big problem with this clip, is that the jiggling of the handle. Yeah, the cat was super, super chill. And the only time cats are chill, they know what's going on. So there's that.
That haunts his home, and that now he's just planning to move out. The Curse of Room 112.
Okay, so now we're getting into the latter half. This is The Curse of Room 112. Here we go.
At a quiet nursing home, staff member Camila Torres says that there's one room that no one dares to stay in anymore. Room 112. Camila says that Room 112 is notoriously known as, quote, the death room. You see, every resident who stays in that room experiences sudden medical issues that often send them to the hospital, and sometimes they don't survive. The nurses and staff at the home say that they get chills just walking past the room door. Now, eventually, things got so bad that Room 112 was just left empty. But it seems that something is still inside. One night, the nurses are creeped out as the call alarm in Room 112 suddenly goes off, as if a resident inside is pressing the emergency button for help. But again, there's not supposed to be anyone in Room 112.
Get the light, get the light. You say you checked? Yes. Did you just get that on camera? No. Stop. I'm not playing with you anymore. I don't like this. No, I don't like this. I don't like this.
Okay, so here's the thing about nursing homes and the paranormal. Depending on the nursing home, depending on the history of the nursing home, depending on what went down in the nursing home, yes. There is a lot of intensity around that. The closest that we have come to investigating of something along those lines is Annenberg Mansion. You've seen us go there a couple of times. There was a period in Annenberg's history where it was, in fact, it had 2 wings on either side of it attached, and they had to take them down. But Annenberg the mansion at Annenberg at one time did, in fact, house elderly patients. And I think there was something left behind there, because when Phil and I were investigating Annenberg, we were in the top floor, and administration, from what I remember being told, administration was on the second floor, but there were patients on the third floor. And on that third floor, yeah, there was some intensity there. We even picked up what we believe, as we were having a discussion while moving equipment, and underneath our voices, we actually picked up a help me. And there was also a very angry spirit, there was an angry presence we felt on that third floor. Now, this is just our personal experiences. I'm going to back this up, by the way. And one of the other things that we were also picking up, which I thought was interesting, and before anybody says, well, these apps are listening to you, obviously, not necessarily. A lot of these apps, we would actually go on ahead and disable the audio features of these apps, the GhostTube apps. And We would do that just to make sure that nobody would be, quote unquote, listening, or the app itself would pick up on conversations we were having. And we were still getting images of elderly people, and they were usually looking alone. I think one of the most powerful images we ever got from GhostTube Seer when we were investigating Annaberg was when we were outside of it. And I said, we're going to go now. We'll be coming back later, but we'll be coming back later in a few months, but we're going to go now. And then it generated this image of a woman, looked like she was dressed in her Sunday best, and she was looking out of a window. That was rough. That was really rough. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to back this up a little bit, and we'll see if in fact we're capturing anything. They said something about the door closing. Okay, so there's the door. The door is open in this part of the video. So let me just see let's just see what happens here.
Get the light, get the light.
Okay, so the light is...
You saying chicken? Yes.
Okay, so the
get that
door...
on camera?
Okay, so the door closes seemingly of its own volition. If this is the overnight staff and they are bored enough, somebody's going to get behind that door and prank somebody. It's just a thing. That's what people do. And the bigger problem we have about this particular closing of the door is that we have no idea what the ventilation system is like. We have no idea if that is being caused by air conditioning, some weird cross breeze that's happening. It's really hard to diagnose this because we don't have a camera on the other side of the door. And it's one of the reasons why so many paranormal investigators travel with so much gear, because we want to be able to look at stuff from multiple angles. So this is, I would call it inconclusive, but let's see where this video takes us.
No. Stop. I'm not playing with you anymore. I don't like this. No, I don't like this. I don't like this. This is insane right now. Right there.
Okay, you're gonna stop this right now.
Camilla watches the CCTV as the heavy door to room 112 slowly closes by itself. She and her coworker go to investigate, but as expected, there's no one there. Cut to a week later.
Now, I do have a problem with this. And this is something that I do think that if Nuke was really serious about the paranormal, he would point this out. Let's back it up. I want to see if anybody else in chat picks up on this either. Watch what happens. Okay, so they go in to check out what's going on. Now, I will respect this woman by saying you need to stop this now. It would have been really impressive if the alarm had stopped at that point. It does not. But just watch what happens. So they go in, right?
Okay, you're gonna stop this right now.
So she goes in there.
Camilla.
Anybody catch it? If you didn't catch it, I'll play it one more time. She goes in. Nurse is coming behind her. You see the door swing forward as if it's shutting of its own volition. The door automatically closes. So either A, these other doors that are open all had wedges that were keeping them open, but that door closed of its own volition. It's built to close. So that's my first red flag there. Or yeah, major red flag.
Camilla watches the CCTV as the heavy door to room 112 slowly closes by itself.
That's not paranormal, that's by design. That's by design for these style of doors. So
She and her coworker go to investigate, but as expected, there's no one there. Cut to a week later.
All right.
Residents of the nursing home are enjoying a visit with a therapy dog. Suddenly, things take a very creepy turn.
Where's your other sucker? Hey. You only have one? Use it. She left.
okay, this is giving me chills. I'll talk about this in a second.
Really?
The normally calm therapy dog suddenly becomes very agitated. It just walks away from the group and heads down the hall straight to room 112. The dog stands at the doorway looking inside and whimpering as if it is staring at something disturbing in the darkness, something that no one else can see. As word about haunted room 112 begins to spread, the nursing home residents start to get a little freaked out. One woman decides to perform a religious cleansing ritual on the room, and she asks Camilla to record her so that she can share it with her Catholic friends group on Facebook. The video captures something that is downright chilling.
Okay. So I will say this. Service dogs like the one there, unless the service dog is in training, it's not going to do that. I don't know. I am not an expert on service dogs. Okay. Okay. I'm not an expert on service dogs, but I will say service dogs in training might break away like that. But the fact that the dog stopped there and then just stared in the direction of the room, and then started doing that whining part, I admit that's a little unsettling to me. Now, granted, I don't know if we're being indicative to that room or not. I bring this up because I know for a fact we've had some issues. I don't want to say issues. We've had incidents with cats where they get on top of their cat tree and they're happy as can be, and then suddenly they will stop what they're doing and they'll just stare into the media room. They'll stare. They'll be in here in the studio, and they will just fixate on something in the media room, and there's nothing there. Is that proof that there's something happening in our media room? Not necessarily, but it is something that has been noted on multiple occasions where they've said, hey, dogs, cats, most household domesticated pets have a very sensitive reaction to things that we cannot see. I'm not going to say that the dog, to train a dog to do that on command would be a huge effort, and that would be one massive hoax that they're trying to pull on us. But the dog's reaction, yeah, that did unsettle me just a little bit. Is it proof of the paranormal? No, I'm not 100% convinced. But let's see, the fact that this woman is saying, hey, I want you to film me doing this for my Facebook group. Already, bells and whistles going off. This is alarm bells of all kinds. All right, here we go.
Heavenly Father, I ask for your divine presence to fill this space. May your light shine brightly through every room, cleansing this home.
Okay, first thing I don't like about this video. Why is she standing outside of the room? She should be inside the room. She should be inside the room doing this. Second problem I have with this. This has some Ed and Lorraine Warren stank all about it. Unless you are ordained or you honestly know what you're doing, you don't dabble with this kind of stuff. This is not a hobby, okay? This is not a hobby. This level of it, where it's one of the reasons why I don't want to necessarily do. The reason I do not necessarily want to do residential hauntings. I don't want to do residential investigations and hauntings. It's twofold. One, it's the residents in particular. In a lot of cases, you do not know what you're stepping into. It could be, Walker. It could be just that. And I speak on authority on this because I have friends who are professional mediums, professional spirit workers, if you will. And I mean, I'm Christian. I try to keep an open mind on things. I honestly do. And even some of the stuff that I have seen my friends who are true pros with this, and I'm talking about people like Spence and people like Jada Adams. These are people we've worked with before at OSI, and I truly believe that what they do is something very, very special and something very unique. But it's not just something where they read a couple of books and said, yeah, I'm going to do this. They've studied under people. And my first issue with this is that this lady is like, yeah, I'm going to do a cleansing. I want you to get this on video so that I can show it to my Facebook friends back at the church. And I'm standing outside the door. Okay, well, why aren't you inside the room? Go inside the room. That's how a cleansing should happen. But let's see where they go with this. Because if there's something moving in the shadows, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, here we go again.
Heavenly Father.
It just feels a little weird that she's doing this standing outside of the room. I have a big problem with this.
I ask for your divine presence to fill this space. May your light shine brightly through every room, cleansing this home of any negativity, fear, or unrest. Let peace dwell in every corner, and love be the foundation of every wall. Bless this home with your protection, surrounding it with your angels, and shielding it from harm and evil.
Another problem I have is that the room looks a lot darker than it did in the previous video with the dog. So,
every door
that's
be
a problem.
passage to your grace, and every window open to your blessings. In Jesus.
Did you see it? As the resident recites a prayer at the door of room 112, the rosary beads in her hand are suddenly yanked.
All right. Last time I saw something like this, John Walker got me in trouble with the group.
Resident recites a prayer at the door of room 112. The rosary beads in her hand are suddenly yanked.
Okay. I'm not seeing anything. Hey, I know you will. Walker. I don't see any wires or anything like that. Unfortunately, with YouTube, I cannot go frame by frame. I wish I could. But at least in this frame, I'm not seeing anything weird. And and I will say that her body is not jerking.
At the door of room 112, the rosary beads in her hand are suddenly yanked by some invisible force. The woman doesn't notice and continues.
If we were to see a wire anywhere, it would be right here. If we were to see anything with a wire here, it would be here. She wasn't jerking her hand around or anything like that. I have no idea if that pendant is magnetic. And that's a possibility. The room seems abnormally darker. My main criticism of this, though, is why is she doing this outside of the room? If you're going to cleanse a room, you turn the lights on, you go into the room. You got to go into the belly of the beast, and you got to do it there and then. So
Her prayer, but when they watch the footage back, they notice the strange, unexplained jerk on the beads almost as if something was trying to snatch them right out of her hand.
Now, I also find Nuke's commentary here a little questionable. You mean to tell me that while they're doing this, while that woman is filming, they don't notice this? That makes me wonder if there's some additional shenanigans going on, some post-production shenanigans. It's one thing. I remember one time Phil and Tina were trying to convince me that there was this. I was filming this ribbon that had a bell on the end of it. Phil and Tina were trying to convince me that it was being lifted and was parallel with the ground. And I looked at every frame of that video and I said, Phil, Tina, the breeze was kicking it up. The breeze kicked it up and barely got it within 5 degrees of its original hanging position. It was not parallel to the ground. And I'm sorry, if you're doing this process, you're going to notice something that dramatic. So
Camilla says that to this day, haunted room 112 still remains empty.
And she's unfazed by the whole thing.
Dark reflections.
So I'm, with the exception of the dog footage. The dog footage, I will say, is very compelling. But yeah, I'm not going to say it's inconclusive. It feels like it's leaning very hard towards the ridiculous factor. But let's push on and see where we go from here.
The recent film, The Conjuring: Last Rites, is based on Ed and Lorraine Warren's
You've already lost me. You've already lost me. You have already lost me. You have already lost me. Wait a minute. I got one more.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
If these two are involved 9 times out of 10, and that 10th time is still questionable, it's crap. It is absolute crap. We're going to be talking about Ed and Lorraine and their legacy. The Conjuring House being a successful film really was the worst thing to happen to the paranormal. It really was. But we will forge on and we will see what Nuke had to say about Ed and Lorraine. Here we go.
Investigation of the infamous Smurl haunting in West Pittston, Pennsylvania.
Okay, true story. Sam and Colby based their entire Hell Month around this house. Funniest part, they investigated the wrong part of the house. I'm gonna say that again. The kids in the back. They investigated the wrong side of the house.
I suggest you let that one marinate.
Basically, what happened was the things that happened in the Smurl house was happening on this side, the left side of the house. But when you watch their footage, Sam and Colby are entering from the other side. And yeah. Once again, somebody in the Sam and Colby department did not do their research. So just food for thought. But let's back this up. Dark Reflections. Let's see where they go with this.
Dark Reflections. The recent film, The Conjuring: Last Rites, is based on Ed and Lorraine Warren's investigation of the infamous Smurl haunting in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. Jack and Janet Smurl claimed a demonic presence tormented their family for over a decade, filling their home with strange noises, chilling screams, moving objects, and even physical attacks. Since the movie's release, many people have gone back to revisit real footage that was shot inside the Smurl house.
I want all of you now to think of the most violent thought you can imagine.
Oh, God.
That's it, folks.
One particular clip has unsettled many viewers. In it, Lorraine Warren gives a tour of the Smurl home, pausing at a closet where the family often heard unexplained loud and insistent knocking.
This is the closet area, and especially in the back of this closet, where they will hear much of the rapping that takes place in this bedroom.
And here's where things get really creepy. Look closely as Lorraine Warren reaches for the closet door. Her reflection in a nearby mirror looks just wrong.
What's going on? Are we really doing this? Are we really doing this?
Face appears dark and distorted, and her eyes have gone black. Given Lorraine Warren's reputation as a psychic empath, some believe that she may have been channeling the dark entity that haunted the home. But what do you think? Whispers in the
Hard no.
I promised myself, see, here's the problem. I promised myself that I wanted this to be positive, you know, that I didn't want to necessarily pick on people, and I didn't want to do. Problem is, it's the Warrens. And, yeah, you know what this is? This is not some type of evil entity, okay?
Much of the wrapping that takes place in this bedroom.
And here's where things get
Place in this bedroom.
Hang on, I want to see if I can get the moment that they're talking about.
Of the wrapping that takes place.
Yeah, what's happening here is the optics of cameras in the 70s. Because what you'll notice is, one, the reflection is not moving out of sync or anything like that.
Where they repair much of the wrapping.
Okay. So this is her looking in the angle, right? And then there you can just see her face just off camera. It's shadows. It's light and shadows, and it makes her look a little freaking creepy.
In this bedroom.
And here's where things get really creepy. Look closely as Lorraine Warren reaches for
Yeah. These are all shadows that happen when you turn your face away. They're using really abnormally bright lights to film her as well. So when you turn away from those lights, guess what happens? You're going to get shadows in weird places. So, yeah, this is not what I would call
the closet door. Her reflection in a nearby mirror looks just wrong.
All right, everybody get in the car. We're gonna raid T. Morris.
This is all I wanted. I just want to drive. I just want to get in the car and drive. Just get away from this.
Her face appears dark and distorted,
No, it
and her
doesn't.
eyes have gone black.
Yes,
Given
because of lighting, because of bad lighting, because of 70s bad lighting and optics in 1970s cameras.
Lorraine Warren's reputation as a psychic empath, some believe that she may have been channeling the dark entity that haunted the home. But what do you think? Whispers in the dark.
I mean, and the fact that they're making that reach with the Conjuring House. We're gonna be talking about the Conjuring House again. Sorry about that, everybody, but yeah, okay. We're moving on. We're just getting as far away from the Warrens as we possibly can, which unfortunately in the paranormal can't be far enough.
Problem Mother Jacqueline says
Okay,
that some
here
strange
we
things
go.
have been happening
Whispers in the
since
dark.
she and her
I think
two
we're gonna be
daughters
talking
moved
about
into their new
EVPs.
home. At first, her oldest daughter told her that someone was whispering to her at night as she tried to fall asleep.
Okay.
The little girl said that she couldn't understand what the person was saying or even whether the voice was male or female. On another evening, her daughter said that she heard someone calling her name from downstairs. Now, at first, Mom Jacqueline just dismisses these claims as a child's imagination. But then one day, she catches something on her living room camera that is truly disturbing.
This is another one of those things where I'm not the biggest fan of people exploiting videos that involve their kids. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Not a fan. Not a fan. And again, from left to right. Yeah. You're learning, Walker. You're learning. Left to right. It's a thing. It is a serious thing. And what Walker is making reference to over for my folks over on YouTube, John Walker, aka Walker, over here on Twitch, Walking Bard. Walker is one of our associates, and much like me and Phil, we are all learning together what to do and how to debunk things and stuff like that. And one of the things you notice with activity is a lot of times, whatever the activity involves. Hey, Evie. Hold on a minute. I gotta disarm a situation before it goes thermonuclear. Give me a second here. Evie. Get up there. Come on. All the way up. All the way up. I need to make sure you don't pick a fight with your mom. Come on. Come on. Gato. There you go. Get up there. Evie, you're fine. You're fine. This is the sweetness. Evie. Come on, Evie. Relax. It's later in the night. Evie's getting a little punchy. But what Walker is referring to is that a lot of the activity you'll see when stuff is thrown or what have you, it always seems to come left to right. It is rarely anything else. But yeah, okay. So something
truly disturbing.
The other problem is that with depth perception and things like that, it's hard to say whether or not someone's hiding behind the couch. What I find odd about this, the kid doesn't pick it up. Whatever this thing was, the kid didn't bother to pick it up.
Jacqueline's daughter is playing at their table when suddenly a toy comes bouncing across the floor towards her, almost as if thrown by something. The girl goes to check it out, and then a plastic bag falls.
Okay, the plastic bag is not. This is not paranormal. No, it is not paranormal in any way, shape, or form. It's a plastic bag. A fan, a rotary fan, suspended from the ceiling could knock that off. Physics could knock that off. The fact that she looks at the toy and then goes to the other side of the other side of the couch makes no sense at all. Makes no sense at all. The fact that she doesn't pick it up makes no sense at all.
To the ground. Now, either of those could be written off as a simple coincidence. But then things get kinda weird. The little girl suddenly cries out and clutches her arm before running upstairs in tears. Later, she tells her mom that something grabbed her, and when Jacqueline looks, there's a fresh red scratch on her daughter's arm. Jacqueline says that both of her children now...
You also see her put her arm up to her face, and yeah, okay.
I'll sleep in bed with her. So, is there some...
Doesn't really help that her TikTok name is Bad Mom. I'm just saying, right there.
Something sinister haunting Jacqueline's new home? Tell me what you think down in the comments. Haunted housekeeping. A woman named Sarah says that she works as part of the cleaning staff at a nursing home. Now, to avoid any confusion, while Sarah usually speaks Spanish in her videos, this nursing home is actually located in Arizona in the U.S.
Trabajo en una área donde prácticamente vienen a morir los.
Okay, so again, we are back in a elderly facility, old folks home, nursing home, whatever you want to call it, and again, I have thoughts about this based on our experience with the mansion at Annenberg. I also experiences that I've seen other people have in nursing facilities. If I remember correctly, there's the old South Pittsburgh Hospital, and this is in Tennessee. I've seen 2 groups go in there. One of them Paranormal Quest, another it might have been Paranormal Encounters or Amy's Crypt. Oh no, I think it was Amy's Crypt. But yeah, when you go into nursing facilities, anywhere that you have nursing facilities or stuff like that, there's going to be a vibe in the air. So already my curiosity is piqued, but we'll see where we go.
Viejitos que están solos, que no tienen familia, y es que se escuchan demasiados ruidos, y es que está terriblemente oscuro, o sea, está solo, apagan las luces, se abre el elevador, es una cosa espantosa.
Sarah says that since she has been working at the nursing home, she has heard and experienced many strange things.
Hello? ¿Qué fue eso? Se está escuchando el piano. Y no hay nadie en el piano. No mames. No hay nadie y lo estoy escuchando.
One day, while Sarah is working alone in the nursing home, things take a terrifying turn. She starts to hear strange, unexplained screams echoing through the halls.
¿De dónde viene ese ruido? Se escucha como que gritaran, como si hablaran. No es nadie. Pues se escucha que grita. Creo que es de acá. Oiga, hay veces que se oyen las sillas de ruedas que caminan, que hablan. ¿Qué podrá ser? Ay, ¿qué podrá ser? ¡Ay, no!
Okay. All right. Backing it up. I just want to see something.
Hay veces que se oyen las sillas de ruedas que caminan, que hablan. ¿Qué podrá ser? Ay, ¿qué podrá ser? ¡Ay, no! ¿Qué es eso? ¡Ay, no! Ahora sí, mire algo. No puede ser. No puede ser, ¿escucharon? Ahora sí sentí que alguien me tocó de verdad.
As Sarah searches the hallways, she doesn't hear it, but there is a strange voice that sounds like an older woman whispering, "I see you."
Oiga.
Then, out of nowhere, a cart rolls across one of the activity rooms completely on its own. Sarah.
It rolls completely on its own, but we cannot see what's in the rest of the room.
Says that just then she felt someone touch her back.
Ahora sí sentí que alguien me tocó de verdad.
And with that, Sarah has had enough. She just gets out of there. So, what do you think? Did Sarah capture evidence of a haunting in the critical care wing of the nursing home? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. Scurry video.
My thoughts is that, yeah, these are the other thing is that the thing I'm noticing is that for a nursing facility, there's nobody there and it's daylight. So already my spidey sense is tingling pretty hard. These could be people that are extremely bored and are just, farting around because they want to get their 15 minutes on TikTok. The bigger problem that I have with these types of videos, and I do want to stress this, these types of videos, is that they're all one shots. They're either dodgy cameras and things like that, and what I'm doing is comparing. I'm personally comparing what's going on with some of these videos And the video that I saw, also from Nuke's Top 5, of the chateau that the older couple were from England were running in France, just outside of Paris. And the thing that I thought was really clever about that other video was the woman specifically set up cameras because she thought there was a mouse. There was something in there. She explained what how the systems worked, that it was a motion sensor, the latch on the door. She had all that stuff covered. And she specifically put up a camera to capture whatever it was that was making the sound that was keeping them up at night. And, well, the stuff that she actually caught completely boggled her mind.
So we're good, right?
And that was what I loved about that video, was that they had a purposeful setup. I think this one didn't have the dog moment that the other video offered. The dog was reacting to something in the room. The dog could also be picking up on something that was just left behind in the room, a certain smell or something like that. But this just felt like people were really bored, because let me tell you something, for a nursing facility, there was nobody in there. And it looked like even it just looked like there was nothing, there was no sign of any kind of activity. By the way, ads are starting over on Twitch. I'm calling BS on that one. I'm calling BS on that one too. I'm sorry, lady, but there's too much stuff to be debunked in there. And I'm sorry, if there is something particularly active, I think you need to get a team in there and have a good look at it. Okay. But the fact that that cart that was moving, it wasn't like there was anything on the cart. There was no books on the cart. There was no dishes on the cart. There was nothing on said cart. And then when you looked at the different rooms, it looked like no one had been in there for quite some time. So again, I'm just like, BS meter going off. BS meter. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, since we got one more video in this debunk section, and then we're going to go straight into the topic of the deep dive. I'm just going to wait until everybody gets back from ads. Shouldn't be long. Yeah, minute and a half. But thank you all for watching, by the way, for those of you over on YouTube, and for those of you who are subbed or are using Twitch Turbo and you're watching me sans ads over on Twitch. Thank you again very much. This is your weekly dose of weird news, paranormal analysis, except for when it comes to the Warrens. I have a real tough time with the Warrens. If I see the Warrens, first thing that comes to my mind is this.
Oh, hell no, Karen. Keep your bland-ass potato salad to yourself.
I mean, that's some bland-ass potato salad right there. I am not one for the Warrens, and I'm not picking up what they're putting down.
So technically, T. Morris is correct.
Yes, I am. I am in that respect. And that will be a hill that I will die on. So yeah. Okay. But as soon as we wrap up this ad break over on Twitch, we will jump right in with the last one, scurry videos. So we'll see what we'll see what Nuke's Top 5 has for us for the number 1 slot. Okay. But this is our weekly dose of paranormal analysis. We got the deep dive coming up, and then of course, you've already done the weird news. This is the Grim Gazette, and I hope you're enjoying yourselves. Okay, I hope you're all having a good night. We are now back from ads. Thank you all for sitting through ads. I certainly do appreciate it. Let's see what we got with scurry videos.
Once again, these are videos that are kind of scary, but maybe a little silly, a bit funny, or just kind of weird. First up, a ghost hunter in Malaysia tries to provoke a spirit into showing itself. He stands up on a table and dares the ghost to push him off. What happens next leaves him speechless.
Now, going back to this, that whole thing with the table that you saw with the Warrens, that is an old school magician's trick. And folks that ran seances back in the wild popular days of spiritualism, yeah, they knew how to make that work. So yeah. So let's see what happens with this guy.
Engkau apa? Kau buka langkah engkau, kau buang aku sekarang guna ni. Cepat kau buka.
Okay, I want to see that again. I want to see that again. I want to see that again. Oh my God. Where is it?
Who's this nut tugger?
Yeah, he won't be doing any tugging. He won't be doing much tugging right now.
Into showing itself. He stands up on a table and dares the ghost to push him off. What happens next leaves him speechless.
No kidding.
Engkau apa? Kau buka langkah engkau, kau buang aku sekarang guna ni. Cepat kau buka.
And this was his last day in paranormal investigation.
Next up,
Okay, that's good. Sorry, top marks, no notes. That's yeah. And look, if you know, first off, one, it's very rare. I personally think to see someone in the Thai culture getting into that because they take their ghosts very seriously. But you know, if their ghosts are half as angry as the way they're depicted in films, yeah, that guy was asking for it. He was provoking a ghost, and the ghost's like, all right. Okay, here we go.
We're in Vietnam. Two girls who work in
Vietnam again. Good God. I mean, look, Asian ghosts are the worst. I'm just going to come out and say it. Asian ghosts, they do not F around. They do not. Goi Jang Haunted Asylum. That was one of those movies that Phil and Tina watched me watch. And woof, that one was effed up. Effed up in many ways. Okay, here we go.
Next up, somewhere in Vietnam, two girls who work in an unair-conditioned clothing store lie down on the floor to cool off. It was a terrible mistake.
Not paranormal, but
a rat runs up one of the girls' pants
Whoa.
and she has to Gangnam Style it back out of there. Now, the weird thing I found out when researching this story is new fear unlocked. This happens a lot.
Dang. Wow, ran up my leg.
Jesse has caught a mouse.
In my pants.
Don't let it climb. Go ahead. Oh my god.
She's just playing around with it.
Oh my God.
Is that your mouse?
Please don't put my mouse. Please don't. Oh my God. It's not yours. Yes, I'm over it.
That's a pretty good answer. I saw it.
God, oh gosh! It is! What the hell?
So until next time, keep your legs crossed, and thanks for watching.
All right, you know what? We'll give him that. We'll give him that. Wow. I'm still processing the one where the guy gets on the table and says, "Hey, knock me down, man, knock me down." The ghost's like, "Yeah, all right." You know. That's the kind of stuff that makes me go, yeah, if there isn't the paranormal, if the paranormal doesn't exist, karma does. Because man, if you're in an abandoned location, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna climb up on this table and provoke. It's like, well, you're not so much provoking so much as you're just daring karma to kick in, and well, yeah. All right. Well, now we get to the final segment of tonight's Grim Gazette, the deep dive, and this is where we do a in-depth discussion about something that is currently the talk of the town, and what is going on in paranormal circles. To get to the main subject, what we're talking about, we're going to have to also talk about talk about Ed and Lorraine Warren. And we have to talk about something that happened earlier at the end of the summer. Something that happened in August. So let's go on ahead and let's dive right in. No need to take a break. I got plenty of hydration that should get me to the end. If you're over on YouTube and you got questions, you fire them away. If you're over here on YouTube, you can fire them away as well. Sorry, Twitch. So Twitch, YouTube, if you got questions for me concerning this, we will talk about it. But before we get to the actual happening that is unfolding here, we have to go back to this incident that happened in the summer. Comedian Matt Rife buys Ed and Lorraine Warren's occult museum that houses Annabelle the dog in the Conjuring franchise. He plans to open it to the public for tours and overnight stays. All right, so here we go. Strap in, everybody. Matt Rife, I do not know this comedian, but Matt Rife is now legal guardian of the late Ed and Lorraine Warren's occult museum. Rife, a comedian known for his stand-up specials, most recently Lucid, took to social media on Friday to announce that he and ghost hunter Elton Casty, keep that in mind, bought the paranormal investigator's house. They are now the legal guardians of their collection of supposed haunted objects, including the Annabelle doll and other artifacts used in Warren cases, which inspired the Conjuring House franchise, or as I like to call it here on this channel, the WCU or Warren Cinematic Universe. I have officially purchased Ed and Lorraine Warren's home and occult museum, including being the legal guardian for at least the next 5 years of the entire haunted collection, including, all caps,
the Annabelle doll,
with my good friend Elton Casty. Reads the caption to a carousel of photos, and the first of which shows him and Casty pointing with the Annabelle doll. If you know me, you know I'm obsessed with the paranormal and all things haunted. You may also know the Conjuring films are my favorite scary movies of all time. So I'm incredibly honored to have taken over one of the most prominent properties in paranormal history. We're going to talk about this in just a moment. He continued, Ed and Lorraine Warren arguably put demonology and paranormal into the mainstream. And are the very heart of some of the most famous haunted stories of all time. The Conjuring House and Amityville Horror. The Occult Museum was once open to the public but closed in 2019 due to zoning issues. It used to be run by Lorraine, however, she died in 2019 at age 92. Rife explained what he intends to do with the house now. We plan to open the house for overnight stays and museum tours so you yourself can experience and learn all about the haunted history surrounding this amazing place. The Conjuring Last Rites, the fourth and final Conjuring film, will follow the Smurl case and hit theaters September 5th. The last trailer dropped this Thursday. Okay, so this dude, and this dude rise above fear. Good great. Yeah, I love this guy already. Okay, so basically, Matt Rife, Elton Casty, And this is Annabelle, everybody. This is effing Annabelle. Okay? It's not the doll that you think you know from the Conjuring House film. Or even Conjuring House 2 or whatever. This is Annabelle. This is Annabelle. A demon apparently imprisoned itself into a Raggedy Ann doll. Just,
I suggest you let that one marinate.
Just throwing that out there, okay? And we're going to talk about Elton Casti in a moment because of this. Gonna have to buy this. I'm blowing this up too. All right, I told you that. I read you that story so you could find out more about this. YouTuber buys mortgage of the Conjuring House amid competition to acquire property. This is what is currently happening. Popular YouTuber Elton Casti, where is he? This guy, Elton Casti, has assumed the underlying mortgage on the farmhouse made famous by the Conjuring films. But it remains unclear whether the property itself has changed hands. The historic home has been an international draw for paranormal enthusiasts ever since the 2013 blockbuster horror film debuted. It was scheduled to be auctioned off on Halloween after its current owner fell behind on mortgage payments. That current owner being Jackie Nunez. But that highly anticipated auction was abruptly called off in early October when the lender sold the underlying mortgage in a private deal instead. Newly filed land records show the buyer is a real estate holdings company controlled by Casti, who previously expressed interest in purchasing the property alongside comedian Matt Rife. Casti, who incorporated the company on September 12th, declined to comment on the transaction. Rife did not immediately respond to a request for a comment. Casti now controls the $1.2 million mortgage originally issued 3 years ago by Needham Bank to Balefire LLC, a company run by Jacqueline Nunez. Nunez has faced multiple disputes with town officials in recent years and lost her business license last year. Nunez told Target 12 last month that she never received a formal notice about the mortgage sale. Nunez also claimed she never had mortgage on the property, even though lending documents filed with the town over the years show otherwise. I have never received anything by certified mail or by the constable, she told Target 12. Casti's move to acquire the underlying mortgage is likely to raise eyebrows in the paranormal community, as there's competing effort by Sci-Fi's Ghost Hunter star Jason Hawes to raise money and purchase the historic property. In October, Hawes launched a GoFundMe to buy the property at the auction. He's continued those efforts in the weeks since it was canceled. Hawes expressed confidence Monday he's still able to purchase the property, saying he's raised more than $300,000, and the news that Casti's purchased the mortgage will not deter him. We are still exactly where we want to be at this time. We have a path forward, bottom line, he said. Casti incorporated the real estate holding company before Hawes' fundraising effort began. To own the property, Casti would need Nunez to sign over the deed in lieu of foreclosure. If she doesn't transfer the property, it could go to auction, which would need to be announced publicly ahead of time in accordance with Rhode Island law. It is unclear if Nunez had agreed to transfer ownership to anyone. The effort to buy the Conjuring House comes in the wake of Casti and Rife purchasing the Connecticut home of the famed paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The duo initially attempted to buy the Burrsville farmhouse from Nunez before it was heading to auction. The farmhouse has been in the spotlight more than a year because of conflicts involving Nunez. Nunez, a self-described medium, transformed the home into a tourist attraction by allowing paranormal enthusiasts to visit the property and attempt to make contact with spirits who live there. She also offered tours of the property and allowed guests to stay overnight for a fee. Nunez made headlines last year after she accused the employee of stealing money and fired him. That employee told Target 12 Nunez claimed the spirit of John Arnold, who owned the home, and with his wife Abigail in the 1800s, is the one who warned her of the supposed theft. The firing spurred a legal fight over back pay and resulted in other former workers coming forward regarding their own issues with Nunez. The town later revoked Nunez's entertainment license, citing issues with the property, along with their application and interactions with local police officers. Despite not being able to continue welcoming guests to the property, Nunez refused to cancel trips that had already been scheduled, which left a number of visitors in alerts and scrambling to recoup their money. Hawes also accused Nunez of harassing him and his family. In response, Nunez took to social media and claimed Hawes had tried to assassinate her. The disputes caught the eye of Andrea Perrin, whose family lived in the Round Top Road home in the 1970s. It was the Perrins' unexplainable and unimaginable paranormal encounters while in the home that put her property on the map. Perrin, who was recently diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, hasn't said much about the conflicts until recently. In a social media post last month, Perrin urged Hawes to step in and buy it. Perrin told 12 she has feared whoever bought the property would use it to make money instead of honoring the home's rich history and the spirits who live there. Okay. So that brings you all up to speed on the drama. And I know I was going to stay out of this, but one of the reasons why I kind of got sucked into this drama llama. First off, one, I have no desire whatsoever to investigate the Conjuring House. I have no desire whatsoever because it is covered. It is covered in Ed Lorraine stank. The whole thing about Bathsheba, yeah, Ed and Lorraine made that crap up. Because no history pointed to Bathsheba other than she was just this lovely old woman that died on the property. But Ed and Lorraine must have seen the tombstone, were inspired by that wonderful name, Bathsheba, and then they effing ran with it. As far as the Perrins are concerned, they're the only ones, apparently, that had anything happen to them in that damn house. So that's another problem. But the real problem is what these two, I'm just going to come out and say it, knuckleheads, Matt Rife and Elton Casti. And I find it interesting that Matt Rife was referring to Elton as a paranormal investigator, whereas the news, the news angle, the news covering this was referring to him as a YouTuber. But basically, Rife and Casti, it came out after they got the rights to the Conjuring House. It's a lease. They bought a lease to the Conjuring House, and these two chowderheads are basically taking a page from the Nunez playbook. Now, Jacqueline Nunez, when she bought the Conjuring House, people had already been investigating it. And I've seen a lot of teams go in there. I have seen, before anybody asks, yes, I did see the Project Fear visit. And I know that they were drawing from the whole experience with Sam and Colby. And Project Fear got involved with I'm blanking on their names now. Satori and Cody. That's it. Satori and Cody. Satori Hawes, as in Jason Hawes' daughter, and Cody were doing some shady stuff, and I talked about it openly on this channel as well. And it turns out that Jason saw some of that. So you got that going. I got that going for me, which is nice. But the thing about the thing was that what came out later was even more horrific than anything that these different investigations were unraveling, if you want to call it that. Because every time I saw, whether it was Amy's Crypt, Paranormal Quest, or whomever going into the Conjuring House, nothing happened. Maybe a couple of taps, maybe a weird feeling of dread, but it was pretty esoteric. And then, of course, there was that moment when Satori and Cody had left, and Project Fear said, yeah, ever since Satori and Cody have left, this place has gotten really dead. Which nobody really commented on, I felt. But going back to what Rife and Casti, and yeah, I may sound like I'm being very dismissive of them. It's because I am, because stuff has come out about the two of them and what they're planning to do And it's the same business model that Nunez had started after she took control of the Conjuring House. You could apparently go to the Conjuring House, live stream, film stuff, do whatever. But that was before Nunez took over. After Nunez took over, it became this. And I'm just gonna if you want to see a deep a paranormal 5-minute paranormal that I did about this, I'm trying to remember when I did it, but I will put that link. I will go on ahead and put that link in here. Give me a second as I look it up. But it was a 5-minute paranormal that I did about what was happening and how I was and back then I was really trying to avoid all the drama llama. Okay, here we go. Okay. So if you want to see my breakdown of what was going on at the Conjuring House, here is a link to... Oh, jeez. I just finished reading your post there, Walker. Shame on you. Shame on you. But I will give you this. Hold on. There you go. Is Nunez short? Is she on the run from the law? Then she's a small, medium at large. Right. Thank you, Walker. Thank you for derailing me there. The thing I would say about Nunez, before she was a self-described medium, she was also a lawyer. Again, Nunez is a lawyer.
I suggest you let that one marinate.
Not a very good one, apparently, but she's a lawyer. But in this video, I go into the details that Side-Eye Guy and Mythos Paranormal go into concerning what went down at the Conjuring House. Nunez basically was charging paranormal groups something around, I want to say, anywhere from $1,800 to $2,000 to investigate the Conjuring House. And that's not just something you could split. If there were 3 different teams there, each team was going to be charged anywhere from $1,800 to $2,000. You couldn't split the cost between 3 teams. It was every team was offered this flat rate. Then you would be charged an additional fee if you wanted to live stream. And that live stream was going to be based on your viewership and your reach. But that would not be guaranteed. You could film whatever you wanted to do during the night. You could film. But again, you would be charged an extra fee for filming. Each team would be charged an extra fee on their filming. And then before you could post it, Nunez would have to look over the episode. And if she approved it, then you could post it onto your page. And if she didn't approve it, according to the contract, there was no refund of the fee. You would still have to pay the fee. And those 2 chowderheads, how you doing there, Ember? Been a week. Don't worry about it. You're at the deep dive part of tonight's Grim Gazette. But yeah, this was the way she was running things, and apparently the chowderheads that now again, they said they purchased the house, and they haven't really done that. But these guys, Rife and Casty, they're charging a similar amount, it turns out. Side-Eye Guy and Beardo talked about this. They're charging similar amounts. And they're also charging that whole thing of like, yeah, we need to see the episode before it airs. And if we don't like it, we won't, we have the right of first refusal. Or we have the right to keep this offline. And no, there will be no refund of the charge. It'll still be in effect. So you literally can pay them however much money to film it, and extra money to film it, and then they just can come back and go, yeah, you're not allowed to post this, even though you paid for it. So already I'm not digging these guys, especially this guy Casty, who claims to be a paranormal investigator. A paranormal investigator would not do that, would not screw another paranormal investigation team in that way. So already F these guys. The other thing that they're not really talking about on this Hollywood Reporter article is that these guys they didn't necessarily buy this stuff. They have a lease on the house, including the museum. And apparently when you investigate the house, that does not include the museum. The museum is not included in... I'm going to snooze the incoming ads because I want to finish this thought. The investigation of the house does not include the investigation of the museum. And according to the Warrens, who had all this haunted crap in their house, supposedly, haunted crap in their house, they never once said, oh yeah, our house is haunted because of it. They have never once made the claim that their own house is haunted. But Rife and Casty are saying, oh yeah, woo, and they're following the same playbook. Now, we jump ahead to the Conjuring House, the actual Conjuring House itself. And again, I want to preface this by saying I have zero, especially after all this drama, I have zero interest in investigating this place because, one, every time I've seen other teams investigate it, it has been flat. I mean, like Kansas flat. Second, it's got the Warren stank on it, so I'm not really impressed with that as well. But I would rather see the Conjuring House under the management of Jason Hawes than those two yuccaputses. And what I found interesting about the yuccaputses that are now making a play for the Conjuring House, they did not necessarily buy the house itself. They bought the mortgage. So they purchased the mortgage of the house. And Jason has been on several times to say that is not the same thing as buying the house. That is not, they bought the debt. According to Jason, they have bought the debt to the house, not the house itself. And this is where it gets a little confusing. Now, I'm making the bold assumption. I am making a very bold assumption here, but after meeting and chatting a little bit with Jason Hawes, I can say Jason Hawes is not the kind of individual that goes off half-cocked. This is a guy that does not make a claim unless he knows he can back it up. I'm assuming he's got legal people involved because he's had to deal with all kinds of legal issues concerning ghost hunters in general. Which is why for a while he was doing Ghost Nation, and then he turns around and he does Ghost Hunters, right? There's some drama llama in that as well. Again, Jason commented on it. He's a good guy. I think the world of Jason Hawes. But one of the things that the impression he's given me as an individual is that Jason Hawes does not say anything without making sure the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Okay, and either A, this guy Casty bought the wrong thing, or B, this guy Casty really does not have a clue when it comes. He basically did what Sam and Colby did the night that they were investigating the Last Rites house, or what they're calling the new Conjuring House. They went to the wrong part of the duplex. As far as Sam and Colby are concerned, a lot of people thought they were going to make a play for the Conjuring House, and instead they promoted Jason. And I talked about that a couple weeks ago. I would say that showed me exactly how savvy Sam and Colby are. Sometimes they are clueless as they come, but in that moment they were like, if we try to buy the Conjuring House away from Jason Hawes, that's gonna make us look horrible, especially in the paranormal circles. So they hedged their bets and they said, you know, Jason Hawes has the blessing of the Perrin family. So, Jason, we have no interest in buying the Conjuring house, and they just backed off. Now these two chowderheads, these other two chowderheads, both of which I'm sorry, Rife, I don't know your comedy specials. I've seen other people's comedy specials, so I don't know if you're funny or not. I'm sure you're a very funny guy. And this guy Casty, never heard of you. Of course, I'm sure these guys never heard of us, so it's okay. So we have common ground in that respect. But I had not heard of you guys until you got the access to the Conjuring house. Sorry, and you got for Ed and Lorraine Warren, Freudian slip, pardon me. But you got access to Ed and Lorraine Warren's house. Mazel tov, great. You got a lease for 5 years. Woohoo! The fact that those two are following the same business plan as Jackie Nunez, though, that tells me everything I need to know. And the fact that they're making a play for the Conjuring house, for the actual Conjuring house, I'm like, all right. But right now, it sounds like it just feels like that you guys are kind of stumbling in the dark here, because it does not make any freaking sense of why you would buy the debt of the house. That's not the same as buying the house. By the way, over on Twitch, ads are starting. So go with God. So while I'm waiting for everybody to get back from ads, this is one of many reasons why I've been avoiding even, I mean, if Phil were to say, hey, T, I got us for a weekend at the Conjuring house, I'd be like, great, go with God. Go with God. You have a good time. I'm not going. I'm really not going. I have zero, and I mean it, zero desire. There's so many other places I would rather go to visit, but the Conjuring house is not one of them. I put the Conjuring house on the same platform as the Hinsdale house. I went there last year. I went to the Hinsdale house on Friday, and then on Saturday, I went to Wildwood Sanitarium. Now, if you want to see our Wildwood investigation, that's already up. Hinsdale is coming next year. Hinsdale is coming in 2026. And that was a conscious decision. Because the Hinsdale house, I have no idea what we captured. I can kind of be honest, though. My expectations are very low. Because a lot of the stuff that was the infamous stories about or all around the Hinsdale house, most of them cannot be corroborated or confirmed in any way, shape, or form. And the new owners of the Hinsdale house have said, yeah, we're trying to course correct that. We are trying to course correct that. Now, is the house a weird house? Yes, it is very unsettling of a house, mainly in how it's built. Do I think it's haunted? I was more creeped out by getting out and away from the house than I was by the house itself. Because again, you were in country darkness, and yeah, the trip out was a little creepy, a little terrifying. And I did film part of that. I did. As far as the Conjuring house goes, though, I put it in the same level as the Hinsdale house. And we are coming back from ad break. Welcome back, everybody, over on Twitch, YouTube. Thank you very much for hanging out. I just have zero desire to visit it because I just feel like every team that I've seen go and investigate it, they haven't brought back a single shred of any type of paranormal activity. And now it's reaching a point where, when I saw Expedition X go to the house across from the Conjuring house and say, oh yeah, we think the spirits are coming here. I was like, come on. I get it. I get it. Everybody's looking to get their nut. In the words of Mr. Mackey, I'm going to get my nut. But, my bigger concern, and this is something that I've said before, for me, the real terrors of paranormal activity or paranormal investigation are the opportunists. The ones that are going to milk that golden cow for everything it's worth. I'm talking specifically about this business plan that these two schmucks are running for Ed and Lorraine's house, and they plan to do. I guarantee you, they're going to plan to do the same thing at the Conjuring House, and they're going to be people that are going to give them that bank. And the link that I dropped into both Twitch and YouTube, have a look at it, because what I would say about it is that these two specific the link was basically, yeah, if you wanted to drop $2,500 per team, you could if you wanted to, but here's some other options. And that was before we visited places like Wildwood. It was before we visited places like Wildwood, and before we had visited places like Trans-Allegheny. And one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of those places. Additionally, I'm also a big fan of Linville Manor, because they do the same thing here. Same thing with when we visited the Bird Theater. All the money that is raised goes into the restoration and the preservation of the property. The people that are working on the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, for example, those guys are rock stars. And they are doing a lot to preserve and open more spaces up to investigation. And they've done an amazing job. They've done an amazing job. And what I experienced at Trans-Allegheny was worth every penny. And even if nothing had happened, it still would have been an amazing experience. An absolutely amazing experience. But I mean, if Rife and Casti are really making a play for the Conjuring House, and they're going to try to get it away from Jason Hawes, you know, I mean, it's at least they've made it clear that they are not reading the room, because even the surviving Perrin member said this should really go in the hands of somebody like Jason. But these two guys, they're opportunists. They're not going to, you know, they've got this lease for 5 years. They're going to milk that calf for as long as they can. And they're going to do the same thing to the Conjuring House. If the playbook wasn't so identical to Jackie Nunez, I would give them the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not. I am not. And I can only hope that that they just did bad research, and that's why they bought the debt on the home and not the home itself. So we're just gonna have to watch this play out and see how it goes. And I don't mind saying it, I'm Team Jason. I really want to see Jason pull this off. I want to see Jason get this. I personally did not invest in the GoFundMe. And I just don't have like I said, I don't have the desire to visit the Conjuring House. There are too many other properties that I want to go. I want to go explore, right? So we'll see how it happens. We'll see where this takes us, and that is where we're gonna end tonight's Grim Gazette with these. Hey, how you doing there? How you doing there, Sam? Balls indeed. Yes, balls indeed. You missed something that would have been very appropriate for that. But anyway, hi Sam. I'm also going to leave you with this. Like I said, with this link to this video that I did about worthwhile and affordable locations instead of the Conjuring House. And this will be a great place to wrap up. So a couple of things about. Excuse us. A couple things about this week. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a footage review We got footage review planned. I'm going to be working on the Rocking Cradle House and that footage for our holiday special in December. Saturday we will be. I was planning on having a VR throwdown. Turns out it's not going to happen. The Rossies are in the midst of moving, so I need to make sure that that we are there to help them make that move. Sam, I'll try to send you the video, but you can also watch the VOD on this, and yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's near the end. Just here's what I would tell you, Sam. If you want to watch all of the video with your dad, feel free. But if you watch it where I'm doing paranormal footage analysis, when I get to Nuke's Top 5, fast forward to where it's number 1 scurry videos, and yeah, there's a balls clip that is very appropriate. But yeah, the Saturday stream is now canceled. But next week, I want to drop this in as a teaser. Next week, no, maybe not next Saturday. Hang on, I keep forgetting how close we are. I might do a Sunday. I don't know if I'll do a Sunday stream. Yeah, next week. Oh God, next week is Thanksgiving. For frig's sake, jeez. Okay, so next week is Thanksgiving. I gotta figure out what I want to do. You know what? I'm gonna go on ahead and say it. Yeah, I'm gonna try doing a Sunday stream, and in this Sunday stream, we're gonna be doing some Deadpool VR. I just bought the game today. I want to make sure that I do this, and I do this justice. So, yeah, we're gonna try to do Saturday stream on Sunday. We'll see how that goes. All right. A lot of things happening this weekend. A lot of things happening this week. But I will see you all tomorrow at 6 o'clock for our next stream, which is our footage review. And I just want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you watching on YouTube. Thank you for watching on Twitch. We're just going to go ahead and wrap things up for tonight. But again, I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Sam, sorry you couldn't get here earlier, but I hope everything's going well at school. Miss you. We'll see you next week. Love you. And for all of you watching, again, thank you so much for giving me your time tonight here at the Grim Gazette. It's been fun. But now we're going to wrap up for tonight. You know what to do. Stay spooky. Stay weird. Keep it weird. And I will see you all tomorrow as we return to the Conjuring House of Lynchburg, Virginia. Take care, everybody. Peace.